Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar
Welcome to the party.
and Simon.
God bless you.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernon's. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. New patrons, Kamar? No? Yeah?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. No new Patreons, but join the Patreon for the post, Joe. Find us on the YouTube.
We should do the fresh and fit thing.
And subscribe. And also, I've been getting a lot of requests from listeners if we have any legacy program. And so if anyone wants to put us in their will, so when they pass away, their estate goes to us, that is available. People have been asking.
Bro, I heard the most brilliant move. This guy that works at one of the trivias, he was like, my mom has the smartest plan ever. He's like, my mom has a full government pension. So he's like, what she's going to do is if my dad dies first, she's going to legally marry one of my friends so that when she passes on, my friend gets her full government pension.
Why not?
Exactly. And like, it'll be like a 40-year-old man, right? So like,
Why not the son? I don't get it.
can't marry
her
your
son.
son.
Sorry?
Can't marry your
The
son.
spouse has
The
to carry on the
spouse-
benefits.
the spouse-
Oh my God, that's a racket. Like these benefits have been in my family for 3 generations.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that brilliant, Simon?
It would be in the family. You'd always have to be adjacent.
Like, think about it like this. Let's say, God forbid, my stepdad passes away, but pass away years from now. Let's say he's like 88, okay, and he passes away. He's lived a full life. My mom's still alive. She can just sign the papers that she's married to Kamar. And then when she passes, Kamar will get my mom's juicy fucking government pension until he dies.
Oh, yeah.
I never
that's
realized
pretty sweet.
she felt that way about me.
She does not.
It's completely a marriage of convenience, though.
Yeah, you don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
You don't have to consummate. You don't have to do
Absolutely.
anything.
I met a fan out in the real world.
At Ward?
Nope.
Where?
Out in the real world, he did not think highly of you guys. I can tell you that much. Shout out to Vex.
What up, Vex?
I know Vec very well, you dipshit. You're a fucking moron.
It's one of Matt's friends.
Vec's the shit. Shout out Vec.
Yeah, shout out.
In any event, if you have benefits, pensions, anything like that, you want to.
Oh, stop with your stupid fucking pensions.
People have
Well, now he's
The
open to the
joke's
idea.
over. Who are you, Harlan? Fucking.
He's got celery he's going to pull
Did you
out.
have a fucking snake up your ass?
That is a world class Subway you just did there.
Come on, you want to go over the guests so we can rate this thing and do what we do here?
Join the Patreon. I love to, brother Matt. 2157 Duncan Trussell, 2158 Harlan Williams, and 2159 Sal Volcano.
Fuck, this week gets 3. I did proper
He
math
gets
there.
a 1.5.
I give it a 2.
Oh, you know what? No, it can't get a 3. It's got to get a 2.5.
I give it a 2. Just
All right, well, let's start it off.
2157 Duncan Trussell back in the house in a silly costume.
What were their costumes? I wasn't watching it.
I didn't watch it either, to be honest.
Kamar?
It looked hot. I know that from the
They were
thumbnail.
Tesla suits, but they were fully, like the mask Kanye wears.
Yeah.
They were a full body suit with the face like that.
Like the first time was funny.
It's a shtick. They're
You're
doing it.
like 56-year-old men, you know?
I know, you're not fun.
No,
Get
we're-
over it.
We're lame Canadians.
Oh, are
And
we?
we think everything is lame.
No. This guy is just a curmudgeon, a stick in the
I'm
mud.
just a lame Canadian.
This show would be to the moon if we were in a different costume
Sorry,
every week.
are the kids out there? You see him? He has like this idea now. Are the kids out there like just crying for more costumes from Joe Rogan? Is this something
how you stay relevant,
I
yeah.
don't have my
No kids are listening to Joe Rogan. I would submit.
Are any of the fans out there, are they like, I can't wait for the next time dunking comes on and they're going to dress up?
Yep.
Fuck you.
It's like Norm. People like gimmicks, gigs, gadgets, whatever you want to call it.
Norm, it wasn't a gig. What?
Whenever you walked in the bar and Cheers, now
Yeah.
I'm showing my age here, everyone would say Norm.
Spoiler alert.
And it's and it's just like I believe it's called a colloquialism. And so Duncan always being in a silly outfit, what are they going to pull off this time?
Okay, listen, I guess I'm the curmudgeon. I guess everybody's out there just waiting on bated
In
breath
Simon's
for
defense.
fucking what costume they're going to
In
wear.
Simon's defense, if you're going to wear it for 4 minutes, kind of defeats the
Yeah,
purpose.
what are we doing here?
They wore it for 20 minutes.
If you're not going to wear it the whole time,
It is
then
interesting,
don't
though.
wear it.
There was a furry convention in Ottawa this weekend, and they dressed up this weekend. Interesting, huh?
For real, there was a furry convention?
I was told there was. Because trivia
Pepe over here.
Trivia was super dead on Friday, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they were like, "What's the night market? It's Rib Fest." They were like, "There's a furry convention in town," and they glazed over that one. I was like, "Hold on!" I was like, "Wait a minute!"
How many people are you pulling from trivia who are going to this furry convention?
That's what I said, but then I thought about it, and I was like, "Probably more than I'd think. Probably more than I'd think."
Yes, it was very busy.
The furry thing is fucking stupid.
You know what's stupid? The Chinese night market. Let me Let me go over something.
This sounds racist, eh?
Sure. Let me go over something real quick. If you were to open a restaurant right now, Simon, and this will bother you, I know it because it has to do with bureaucracy. If you were to open a restaurant right now, the Ontario government would send how many health inspectors down there to ensure the health and safety of the public. But then for some reason, there's a sweet little loophole where it's like, if you just want to sell the most disgusting street food you've ever seen out of like a cooler on the side of the street for just a weekend, feel free.
Yeah.
Like diarrhea will be had. It was had. I bet half the city's got diarrhea right
But
now.
it was packed.
I am a
Always is.
staunch libertarian now.
Till you
Simon's
change your
riding
mind.
waves.
Yeah.
In the 5 years we've done this, man, Simon has really.
Staunch libertarian. I want as little to do with the government as possible. And frankly, you didn't hear it here, but I'm at war with the government.
Didn't hear it here, yeah.
So for the new listener here, we are talking about Duncan Trussell. And they wore the mask for 22 minutes. Now, before that, I just, my crazy notes. This is what I wrote down that they talked about
While in masks.
while in masks. The constants of change, gold, Sisu, asteroid mining, jobs and bosses, war as a job, conscription, killer drones, war.
Why are you doing it this way?
I just experiment.
But you know what's fun? It's funny that he just did it that way because when you think about it, like, it must be crazy for AI to listen to, just unlimited hours of us talking. Because, like, a conversation just goes nowhere. Well, no, like, it goes somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a good example. Like, you named in 22 minutes.
22 minutes. while the masks were on.
They hit 8 completely random and unrelated topics that just weave all over. I mean, I guess gold and asteroid mining, maybe.
There's a weave there. There's a weave there.
But you get what I'm saying, right? It must be interesting for AI to be like,
I
how do
was
converse
looking
with
at
these
the
monkeys?
futility of me taking notes or what I think I'm doing.
He's trying to weasel out of his job 5 years in.
The gold thing is interesting. The gold thing is interesting because if you look back at, and did they talk about Zachariah Sitchin?
Nobody mentioned the Anunnaki
They
briefly.
did when we'll get to say
Because
didn't mention
if you
Sitchin.
look at that as like the real beginnings, then that totally explains why we value gold so much today, right? Like that was the thing we had to mine for them. Of course, we would value it the most.
You guys don't like precious metals at all, clearly.
And the other thing I heard is that dragons used to make their beds on gold piles.
Oh, you heard that?
And that's because gold doesn't get
It was in the Jewish newsletter.
Oxidize?
something with the heat from their fire. I don't know.
This week in gold, we heard that dragons potentially
Imagine. We think there's going to be a run on gold today. Heard there's a flock of dragons coming in and they got no place to sleep.
So I thought the most interesting thing was the thought of asteroid mining, which doesn't even make sense.
There was I'm sorry, if we could just step back for a second. There was a cartoon I watched when I was a kid.
Okay.
It was a movie.
Okay.
It was called Flight of the Dragons. Have you ever?
I remember the name.
Sounds familiar.
It had the voice of John Ritter in it, actually. But the whole
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. The whole
Come and knock
I think it was called Flight of the Dragons. Anyways, the whole premise of it was this guy gets turned into a dragon and then has to live in this world. You know what I mean? It was really
Is it
good.
a live action or animated?
No,
it's
it was
animated.
it was animated, but it must have come from a book
Mm-hmm.
because the back lore of all the dragons and stuff. That's where I learned about the gold
from this old John Ritter voiceover
cartoon. yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a voiceover. He was just the voice.
Oh,
of-
sorry. Yeah. Well, that's a voiceover. Yeah.
No, voiceover is like you're voicing over an existing voice. This was no voice.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sorry.
He,
Pedantic fucking.
if we're gonna speak, we might as well speak the truth, man.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead, Kumar.
Sorry, Kumar. I mean, I don't mean to.
Dragons, gold. I get it. The idea, like the time it would get to take to get to this asteroid to get the middle, like it doesn't even make sense.
Oh, it totally makes sense because there's so much to get from the asteroid.
I would say it makes more sense to build the Dyson sphere and just turn the planet into a ship and go around the universe than like to go. Anyways, that's my own opinion.
You on Earth, let's just say it takes, let's just pretend it takes 10 years to mine a mine of
It's
titanium,
minerals. Okay.
whatever it is.
This takes 1,000 years to mine
No, it doesn't take 1,000 years to get to space.
to get to these asteroids.
These asteroids are right outside our.
Oh, these are
They're
different
just
planets?
common asteroids, man.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we're not going to fucking Mars to mine it. You're mining just a common asteroid, and on these comets or on these asteroids rather, they have the same minerals we have down here, but in like
Drill, baby, drill.
ridiculous abundance.
Now, I don't know if you know, but yesterday, the first commercial flight to the space station was supposed to happen, and it got scrubbed at the last minute. And how it works, or what they were saying on the news, is there's a 2-minute window where they can launch because the world's spinning, and just in those 2 minutes, the rocket goes here. In another 3 minutes, the rocket goes there.
1,000% these people are being put in like a shipping container. The lights go out. They wake up on a set in like Burbank, and welcome to the space station.
We have got it down to, it's got to, I don't know, but hopefully they go today. Actually, it might be right now.
It's so dumb, and
I love that 3 non-college graduates are like, this makes no sense.
whatever. It doesn't.
or it's super
listen,
cool. It's
you don't
super
have
cool.
to go to university to get common logic. You know what I'm saying? The guy made a great point when he was on Rogan. The funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what the fuck was he saying? Oh fuck! I forgot.
Yeah, your mind is mush. I get it. I know.
Okay.
What were we just talking about though?
The moon, mining.
Launching.
Launching.
Oh,
if you launch 2 minutes after.
Launching. They do the hardest thing ever done in the history of man, and they get it on the first try.
This is what I'm
when
saying.
does that
This is what
fucking
I'm saying.
ever happen?
I watched it yesterday. Like it seemed so archaic, even what the thing was made out of. And we're still like, it seemed like the first time this was ever being done. I don't know. I hope it's real. Now, the most interesting thing he brought up, what I never thought about and I need to do with someone, is they said they looked at a post. The same post had different comments underneath it. So
On
if you and
Instagram, yeah.
Mary were to go
Yeah.
to Cringe or whatever and look at a post and then look at the comments, you got to see if you don't have to do anything, but that is so more insidious than anything else I could imagine. Because you're into comments, aren't you?
No, I'm not really into that.
You sent me something, the comments though.
Well, no, sometimes because
Literally. Like,
But why could there might be like 700 comments, and they're just showing you different
top-
comments
well, no.
that you didn't see?
well, no. First of all,
they're I think they're ranked.
the way the comments work, is the most liked ones are at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So if something's gotten 1,000 likes, it's the first comment you see, which is also why the comment thread below it is the longest. That's why it's like The comment game is weird though, because if you see something with 900 comments already, there's no point in putting in your 2 cents. It's going to get buried below everything that
No,
matters.
but the best comments are the best comments for a
Yeah.
reason. So there's some gems. Like I cannot thank enough. I guess I do when I put touch the little heart on their comment and like it as well. When I'm hating on someone and I go, oh, I'm too old to be doing this, and I stop and go, they've done it for me.
It was funny when Joe said he was like railing against people who leave negative reviews. How do you have time to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but if you leave a positive review, it's fine. It's like, takes the same amount of time. You're still there leaving a review.
I think Joe doesn't realize that people have a thing called commute. A lot of people just imagine sitting on a train,
Bus.
a bus, whatever you want. Of
And-
course, you're on your phone. Of course, you have
you're
time to
scrolling
do
all,
anything.
people are scrolling all day. Like, where's this time shortage?
I mean, listen, you're forgetting that we're talking about a guy who has like 18 different special interests and all the money in the world. So for him, he probably doesn't spend too much time on his phone, just randomly scroll. I bet he's like the rest of us. Like listen, you can no longer take a 5-minute shit. That is almost impossible because you're going to spend 5 minutes scrolling when you're already done. So Joe is guilty of that, but dude, he probably has way less time on his hands than I do. Mm-hmm. And so in his defense, he also, though, Joe does this thing constantly where, like when, I know I'm jumping ahead, but Sal's explaining ADHD to him. And Joe almost does the whole like, well, have you just tried exercise? You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, listen, first of all, Joe, there are people with real, and I get it, because like, you know, if you know someone with anxiety and you don't have it, you know, you often have that thing where you're like, just take
Depression,
a deep
whatever.
breath, like step back. You know what I mean? It's real simple for you to say that because you don't have what they're
Just
dealing
calm
with.
down, man.
That's exactly it. And that's what I'm saying is like, because Joe kind of has figured out his sweet spot through his life and doesn't have a lot of issues, he always just goes back to like, well, if you were just fit, everything would probably just fall into place for you. And I'm not saying he's wrong.
$200 million.
Yeah, that helps too. Yeah. Sonny's asleep. He's left.
No, I was just thinking about how Joe used to always say, pull yourself up from your boot. You know what I mean? Like he was a big guy, like people don't work hard enough. And now when he got really rich, he changed his tune to like, I totally understand people come from different
I like to see some documentation on that.
situations. The documentation is right here in the fucking Rolodex, which I call my brain.
Good enough for me.
2 seconds ago, he forgot exactly what he was talking about mid-sentence.
Duncan did not speak favorably of the Civil War movie.
Notice I didn't say computer. I said
No,
Rolodex.
you did say Rolodex, yeah.
Something
Takes a
that
minute
doesn't
to-
even exist anymore.
Gotta scroll. Wait, am I in the S's?
And it's only to hold phone numbers.
I heard it was terrible, Kumar. I heard
You saw
Civil
it.
War was awful.
What?
The Civil War movie.
It was so bad. I 1000%
said?
agree with
Duncan.
and I hate saying that because he's one of my favorites. The Beach, Ex Machina.
Oh, yes, the
Andrew
filmmaker.
Garland. He's an author, but he's amazing.
Well,
They
maybe the
obviously
book's
had
good.
your people had some dirt on him, and they were like, "You need to make a Civil War movie because this is what's coming down the pike."
This movie blew.
Yeah, and I
It
heard it was
blew.
terrible. I heard it was
Little
awful.
boy blue. He needed the money. Do you think we should get rid of guns, right? It's so weird how I remember as a kid, disarmament was a thing.
Well, it's never going to happen.
But it's like I'm talking about. You're probably too young, but I think it was Gorbachev and Reagan, maybe, disarmament was always a discussion. Like we are going to get rid of all the weapons,
But we can't
Just-
give up all the weapons. How are we going to fight back against the tyrannical government?
Well, all I'm saying is it was said, never done. Now it's not even said,
Of course not.
so that's a regression. You feel me?
No, it's not a regression. You can't. That's like imagine if tomorrow all the world leaders came out and started talking about utopia. It doesn't exist. It can't exist. Disarmament isn't going to happen.
So you're saying that if we got rid of all nukes, that would also be regression?
No, he's saying that's the movement. He was saying the disarmament thing. If we got rid of nukes, that's a step in that direction.
the noble lie.
I mean,
Like
that I can
saving
get
the
down
planet
with.
or whatever. It's, like we agreed, is not going to happen. But I'm just saying it used to be said. It used to be for democracy, the children, a buzzword, disarmament. Anyways,
It's not that it's not going to happen, dude. If Canada has 40% of the world's trees, if other countries that have the means, started planting some fucking trees.
We have 40% of the world's trees. Is that true? Yeah. That can't be true.
Look it up.
I'm going to.
318 billion trees in this country.
Who has to count all those, eh?
I'm sure it's a rough estimate, Kumar.
The idea about nonsensical degrees
Yeah.
and student loan.
I saw this video the other day where these 5 girls get in an Uber, and the girl in the front, the guy's got like a dash cam, and he's like, "Oh, what are you girls celebrating?" She's like, "It's my birthday." She's like, "I'm studying to be a social worker," and he's like, "Oh, what are you taking?" She's like, "Sociology," and you just see him look right at the camera, and he's like, "But you said you want to be a social worker," and she's like, "Yeah." He's like, well, he's like, "I really hate to do this. Like, I hate to do this right here, but you're getting the wrong degree." She's like, "What?" The Uber driver's like, "Yeah, you need a degree in social work to become a social worker. What you're getting right now won't get you there." And dude, this girl has like a meltdown, like in the seat. She's like, "Guys, I just found out my degree is useless." And like, it's got to be tough when you're like, "Holy fuck, I've already forked over like $35,000."
What was her degree?
Sociology, and she wanted to be a
That's
social
totally
worker.
Different. Can I just correct you on this tree thing? Sure. Just so you don't go around telling the same lie to another person. Number of trees by the billions. Number 1, Russia, 642 billion. Number 2, Canada, 318 billion. Number 3, Brazil, 302 billion. And United States in 4th with 228.
Okay, but I said we had 318 billion. I nailed that number right on.
Yeah, but you said we had the most.
Well, I said we had 40%.
No, he said the third most. And
didn't
you were
say-
wrong.
He said the
second
third most?
No, I'm just trying to.
But your 40% might
muddy the
actually
waters.
be right. I'd have to do the math, but
Well, just search what percentage of trees in the world does Canada have? Because yeah,
Honestly-
Russia has a lot too. They're done their work. They don't need to plant shit.
Why do people have to plant trees? How
Because
the
it's
hell
good-
did we get here? What's going on?
Well, I'm just saying, if we're really doing all this damage to the environment, planting trees is a good thing. Cleaning up the ocean is the other one. And then from there, we can probably just continue doing the bullshit we're doing.
I have a student loan that's been haunting me for 20 years.
You do?
It really is crazy.
You yourself?
Yeah.
How much is it?
No, it's just like I don't even know.
This fucking guy.
Over $10,000 underneath $20,000. Those numbers make sense?
Yeah.
do they? I don't know.
Oh, you're looking at me like I was supposed to say more. Yeah, and what is it was quite a simple discussion, the nature of evil.
What was the discussion?
Like the devil. But
I know.
if God created everything, then he couldn't make a rock he couldn't lift.
Yeah.
Who said God can't lift every rock?
This is 2 discussions in one.
Well, let's start with one discussion.
Duncan
Yeah.
is leaning more Russell Brand every day,
Yeah.
and he is so lucky, Duncan,
Why?
Go on.
that when he broke up with Natasha Leggero, Joe let him crash on his house and like do drugs and play video games till he pulled himself together. And I don't know. That's like he is grateful. He isn't like I did this all by myself.
So did he dated Natasha Leggero and then she dated Ari and then she dated what's his name?
Married Moshe.
Yeah. Is that or is it Ari Duncan Moshe?
I don't know the early parts.
Well, no, hold on a second. She cheated on Ari, right? That was the whole thing
Poor
with
Ari.
Come on. Oh, God.
with Bobby Lee, right?
Shut-
Bobby Lee knew,
Okay.
and that's why Ari beat him up.
The Pope was accused of calling gossip a woman thing. So I can't. I've got to put the plug in this. I don't want to gossip about Bobby Lee and Natasha. That breaks my heart. Duncan Trussell.
If gossip is a woman's thing, I'm transitioning.
I think
'Cause
you've already transitioned.
I can't live without my tea.
It's true.
Duncan Trussell is heading toward becoming a Christian. Like he's talking about God, and we're just how there's bad. Like all this kept touching back to. I'm not gonna lie to you, Hamas and Israel. I just don't bring those up, but just the evil, like the hate, the killing, the death. Like what? Where does that come from? Or we need that to sustain? I don't know.
The hate, the killing, the death.
But the quote of
Maybe there really is like a reptilian race that feeds off of
Thank you. Hate or whatever.
yeah,
Bad vibes.
bad
mojo.
vibes, exactly. And they need these wars and they need this strife to keep us all in these uncertain terms so they can get our what's the
This is the deepest kind of fucking conspiracy. I love it.
what's the shit that
I love that I say Jews potentially control the U.S. government, and you're like, impossible. And then Kamar's like, there's a chance that there's reptiles living subterraneously that feed off of our bad.
you're saying things out of like an anti-Semitic
No.
slant.
No.
and we're talking like,
Let me ask you a
we're
question.
not hating on anyone but the lizard people.
Let me ask you a question. Last week when I said that, you turned around and you were like, I think it's run by your people, the child raping fucking Christians. Is that anti-Christian, your statement there?
I only
No. Can I just answer the question?
only said that because I was trying to fight back about
Just hear me
the
out.
hate that was being spewed at me.
Just hear me out. If you say white people control America, is that anti-white, that statement?
Well, that is a true statement.
So because it's true, it's not anti-white, right?
Well, it's not like pro-white either.
Okay, but it's not anti-white. Just saying white people control America is not anti-white.
No,
But saying Jews control America is anti-Semitic.
well, just the way you even say Jews is anti-Semitic.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's that white people aren't constantly made to be the scapegoat for all the problems of the world.
Okay. Let's extrapolate on that, though.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm just curious because, like,
Long before, go back to history,
yeah.
the Jews have constantly been the scapegoats.
But maybe that's a narrative that you guys controlled. Is that possible?
Why would we want to control that?
To gain power? It's easier. Again, it's
to
easier.
gain power.
Yeah. It's easier to gain power when you're telling everyone that you're heavily hated and that no one likes you. Right? Can't you gather power? Like, if you're openly gathering power, that looks bad. But if someone is out there, but if you have a campaign where you're like, we're so oppressed, then it's a lot easier to gain power, isn't it? Quietly.
Well, I mean, that's weird. The people who have the most power is the Catholic Church, and they just
how
go
so? They just
about
own
it
the most
out
land.
in public. What are you talking about?
But
They
even
have
then-
all the power.
Okay, but let me ask you a
They're
question.
the
But
fucking
right there.
Roman Empire.
Okay, but you have no problem saying that, right? Like, you don't feel like you're a hateful person when you say that the Catholic Church controls everything.
No.
So why am I anti?
I'm telling a truth.
He's got a point.
So why am I anti-Semitic if I say
why
I
is
think,
one offensive and the other not?
so? Like, if I say Jews control Hollywood, I mean
No,
that's a fucking matter of
That's
fact.
probably not anti-Semitic, but I mean that's like the least of what you say. Then you start talking about their stupid hats, and then
No.
They're
But let me ask you a question.
sucking little kids' dicks.
No,
Like,
but can I ask you a
just look
question?
for every
No.
negative. Yeah.
Out of what?
No. So you had no problem with Jews control Hollywood. That one you were
no
like,
problem. I'm fine with that.
okay. So
And if you want,
do you know anything about the beginning of Hollywood? Because it's crazy. So the 6 large movie studios, all started by Jewish men. All of those Jewish men grew up within 500 miles of each other. They all ended up within 100 miles of each other in Hollywood. They started Hollywood, this massive propaganda machine, which you actually, I never would have said propaganda machine until we started this podcast. You've now put that in my head. So they start this massive propaganda machine. Israel is created because of APEC, which is started by the guy who started, I think, Metro Golden Mayer, the movie studio. So again, like, it's all of this is very tied up because APAC is probably the single biggest lobby in the U.S. And again, it is run by Israel.
It's a straight up Jewspiracy.
Like, this is the question, Simon.
Well,
wait,
again,
hold
you're
on.
conflating Jewish people with Israel.
I am. Yeah, I
and
am.
those two things are not at all the same.
But let me ask you a question. Like, you live in Canada. You live in this country. You're Canadian before you're Jewish, right?
I mean, I'm both. Yes.
Okay, fine. I don't care. But you would consider yourself like...
I don't consider myself Israeli, though.
No, I know you don't. You would not like Israel messing around in this country, right? Like, you wouldn't want the interests of Israel going up ahead of Canadians, would you?
No, not of Israel.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't want that either. But that's what they have in the States. And I'm telling you this not as, again, take the Jewish thing out of it. They happen to be Jewish, so it's kind of a glaring thing, but Israel is the most heavily represented group in U.S. politics. They have the most money. Their lobby is the biggest and the strongest, stronger than oil. That's got to raise some flags, no? Like, you're the conspiracy guy. Dude, 5 years ago, I sat down here. I was the one who would be like, no conspiracies, no conspiracies.
It's true, man.
If
it
you
really is.
if you told me that there was a group of Jewish people, people who happened to be Jewish, who did all this dastardly stuff, I would say okay. It doesn't mean that all Jews are bad.
I'm not, but again, stop. See, this was the
Listen,
thing.
when you get together with all your friends for your rallies with your tiki torches,
Here we go.
you make these mass generalizations
No, because you
about
see-
Jews
No,
and
no.
Israel, and that's where the true problem lies.
Because again, we decided that you had no problem saying the Catholic Church is super powerful and strong. That doesn't make you anti-Catholic. You were just stating a fact. And for me to sit here and say the Jewish lobby, which doesn't mean ever, like, again, if you sit there and say the Catholic Church controls things, I don't take that personally. Just because I might deep in my lineage be Catholic, I'm not like hurt by that. But again, if I say anything like, oh, Israel might be a problem, or Jews control Hollywood, or have like serious influence, and I'm anti-Semitic, that's a problem. That's all I'm saying. And and here's the problem.
Okay. Sorry,
Just,
go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
just real quick. Here's the problem. I know you do it facetiously because I know you know that we're friends and that I'm not anti-Semitic. But for like a casual listener who might tune in, they might think that you actually.
They might be tuning out.
Fine, Kamara's done talking
I think
about this.
you do a good enough job of incriminating yourself
Here we go.
on that level.
I think we
you
should-
don't need my help. I just think it's important that I point these things out because otherwise they might think we're some weird Nazi show.
To what
Like
end?
if I just left you to your devices, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, just real quick in closing. No, it's just very interesting because think about it. Throughout history, Hollywood has used World War II. Nazis are always the worst, right? Always the worst.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, no, but lately, like I was watching Molly's Game last night. You've seen it, I'm sure.
I have.
I've watched it 4 times before this. This passed me by every other time. Thought nothing of it. Last night I'm watching it, and out of nowhere, her dad, Kevin Costner, is like, Jesus, you'd think I'm like the leader of Hamas or something. And I was like, that's such an interesting take.
Villain.
Like, no American, like outside of the Jewish community, no American, I don't think would automatically go to Hamas as like the worst group of people on earth, would they?
I don't know. Probably not.
Pre this thing, right?
Probably. Nazis
Al-Qaeda-
are probably still
Al-Qaeda.
pretty strong.
ISIS.
I was going to say Al Qaeda or ISIS I could get down with because they're more, 9/11 still somewhat fresh. I just thought again, I was like, it's a very
North Korea.
Well, it's just because most people didn't even know about Hamas
Russia,
until
China.
this whole thing.
and this is so again, I think when you start looking for those weird little things, it becomes like very apparent that again, like China, I don't think China should have their hand in how movies are made, but they do somehow, which is odd. Anyway, let's move on.
But I mean, you're also assuming that those Jews, according to you,
I don't like the way you're saying
those
it.
sweet Jewish people who started, the chosen ones who started Hollywood,
Entertainment for people to have popcorn.
why are they not Americans first and Jews second?
Well, they weren't born Americans, so that might have something to do with it. Like, were they Americans?
I don't know.
Did they ever consider themselves
You're
Americans?
the one who seems to know so
Would
much
it,
about
should
them.
it, could it matter?
Well, let me ask you a question. No, but hold on. This is a good question. So you're a naturalized American, okay? You've immigrated because you want a better life, and you get there and you start Hollywood, and you're filthy rich through starting Hollywood. Then you take a ton of that money you've made, and you throw it at lobbying so that Jewish people can have their own state in the Middle East. It's odd, right? Like if you're a happy American, you would think that you wouldn't need to create a motherland for Jews to be safe and then put it right in the middle of people that you're not safe around.
You're forgetting a pretty big piece of this puzzle.
What? Don't say World War II.
I was going to say the Holocaust.
Yeah, that's World War II.
Evil.
I mean, they're not the same thing, but
But okay, let's go deeper on that then. So why do they bring over all these Nazis?
To go to
the
space.
Americans?
Well, why is it? But hold on. Is it the Americans? The Mossad, let's say the Mossad killed JFK.
Okay, let's say they didn't. Let's say the CIA killed JFK.
What about the RCMP?
And what? So you're now blaming the Jews for bringing over the Nazis? What are you even talking about?
Well, how do they let it happen?
How did who let it happen?
The Jews. The most powerful lobby in the US. How do they let the Americans bring over a bunch of Nazi scientists? How does that happen?
It was probably those 6 guys who were making the decisions. They probably got richer in some way by bringing these
Fair
guys
enough.
over.
I'm just asking because
But you're not talking about a huge demographic of people here, and you're not talking about like a huge demographic that could possibly represent the Jews as a whole. Like you said it yourself, it's 6 guys.
yeah. But they control Hollywood. They're super rich. You know that money means more than people, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like if you have a movement of 1 million people, it doesn't matter if none of those people are putting $1 towards that movement. Kamar knows you can go out on the street and protest all you want. It's not going to make a fucking difference. Money makes a difference. Influence makes a difference.
No, I guess my point is those 6 guys who are deciding to send money back to Israel, which I guess was your point.
Well, the one main guy, I forget his fucking name. Yeah.
Though, like, again, those are 6 dudes, 6 guys who all have their own fucking agendas, who they don't represent the Jews.
But the Catholic
There's
Church
6
represents.
guys, they
but
just
hold on.
happen to be Jewish.
But in other cases, they represent everyone. Like the Catholic Church represents me, right? I don't go to church and
I mean, you're an Italian Catholic.
okay. So you're a Jew. You don't want to be lumped in with all the other Jews doing bad stuff. You're a separate Jew, and you shouldn't be persecuted for it. Whereas I, an Italian
only
Catholic,
ever came after your religion because of your stance against mine.
I have no stance against yours. What's my stance against yours? Let's hear it. Kamar's already tuned out.
Yeah, we're not going to get into this. Everybody who's listened to this show clearly knows what your stance is. I don't have to reiterate it. That's crazy.
Okay.
I'm not going to give it life by stooping to your level.
That's probably a good idea. Kamar?
And if you really want me to get started on Jesus and his pedophilic ways, just fucking rev me up, buddy.
First of all, you think
No,
that
Kamar,
calling Jesus a pedophile, you're
let's move on.
hilarious. You
Let's
are
move on.
hilarious.
Let's move on.
Kamar, what do you got for us? What else did Duncan talk about? Dude, when they talked about Haiti, and he's like, what's the guy's name again? And Duncan goes, I don't know, it's something funny like sandwich. I honest to God, like 4 a.m. nearly pissed my pants laughing. His name is Barbecue. His name is something funny like sandwich. Go ahead, Kamar.
That's racist.
That's interesting that he's barbecue and then the guy here was lasagna, remember?
The guy here.
The Indian standoff at Oka, the main guy who wore
His name is
that.
Lasagna?
Lasagna, yeah. Why do they always have food names?
That's a trivia fact.
It is.
You guys didn't see Dune?
No.
Like the original one or the...
No, the Dune 2, I guess.
Oh, I didn't see Dune 2, no.
I saw it, and I realized that even though the CGI looks amazing or whatever, it doesn't. I guess it looks cool, but I don't know. It's like prepping us for the simulation.
Dune 2 is prepping us for the simulation?
Like those worms don't exist, but it looks like they exist. If you watch the movie,
So was
special effects are
Beetlejuice?
so good.
Was
There's going to be a Beetlejuice too, eh?
Yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome.
You know the only person who's not in it?
Michael Keaton.
No, he's in
Oh,
it. He plays
Winona Ryder.
Beetlejuice. No, she's also in it. She plays the
of course,
mom
she's in it.
of
Dick Ryder.
the new girl.
Catherine, what's her name?
No, she's also in
Wow.
it. Come on,
Alec
there's
Baldwin.
one glaring. He is also in it.
I'm trying to think.
The father,
Oh, the molester
the molester.
from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Correct, Kamar.
Oh, that's
Correct.
right. Yes.
Sweeney
yes,
or whatever
yes.
his name
You're an asshole, Rooney.
Rooney.
So Dune, yeah,
You're an asshole, Rooney.
it's an epic movie. But I prefer real movies.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Neither of us has seen it. He took the opportunity.
No
to
special
tell
effects.
us.
You want no special effects
No
in your
special
movies.
effects.
Okay. You hate
I
reenactments.
find it almost exhausting.
Kamar, you like a Revenant. That's your type of movie.
Yeah, not even lit. No
Like
lighting.
fighting a bear. You want to see that bear. That bear's got to be real.
You know what I just
No
watched?
reenactments.
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
So bad.
And like, what are they shooting that are making explosions? Like, where are they getting these missiles? It just, nothing makes sense.
What do you mean? Whoa, what?
When they're attacking each other, there's huge explosions from
Yeah.
these
Lasers or whatever.
whatever
Like
missiles.
Kamar's point is, how are they?
rockets.
Where are they getting their?
Do they go to
ammunition from?
Boeing or like Grumman?
Like they're from a different planet, the Transformers.
Yeah.
They come here.
Yeah.
Where is their stockpile of
The armory
ammunition?
that
like
make
he's
explosions. I get lasers and just cut
Well,
through you or something.
lasers, you don't
sure
need
laser,
ammunition,
okay,
right?
But he's like the things that
Well, I
explode.
There's
don't-
fantastic explosions in every scene,
Fantastic.
and they're not real.
Yeah, it's
They're
CGI.
fucking Transformers.
Okay. Duncan.
Yeah, he's trying to look at it from a real life standpoint. Like, where are they getting all
Dune
of their?
is-
Maybe they
Transformers, it's real.
3D print their ammunition. They're Transformers. They're robots from another planet.
Dune is
You're-
I
awesome.
don't like the way you're talking to us right now.
your stupid what ifs don't apply.
Now I really don't like the way
out.
you're talking
I'm
to
out.
us.
Duncan addressed the Zinspiracy. It's not that they're promoting Zin. There's everyone's hooked on it. They were like, pop that one out. You want another one?
Notice how
Passington's
Joe
back and forth.
Rogan conveniently totally didn't say anything when he said that.
Absolutely.
Just he might
He
as
couldn't
well
say
not
anything. He had
have
a
said
bottom lip full of Zin.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anything out at the
Zin on the
moment.
bottom and money on the top.
Everyone's on Zin.
I mean,
no,
Kamar,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no. They are all adding for Zin.
Wait.
Yes,
wait.
they are.
No.
100% they are.
Can I just give you an example, though? Let's say, I know this is going to be weird. Let's say cigarettes didn't exist until 1959. And in 1959, cigarettes come out. They would be everywhere like Zin, right? Like, you know how in the 60s, cigarettes on television were like everyone was smoking on TV. You could smoke everywhere. Like, dude, I was watching the World Series of Poker highlights from like all the past years. And like, it's crazy watching the dudes in the 80s sit there with like a fucking cigarette lit playing. I just love that
What's your
shit.
point, though?
My point is, if cigarettes came out in the 60s out of nowhere, they would have been everywhere. And it wouldn't have been a conspiracy like,
No. The conspiracy. Sorry, I think you're misunderstanding.
No, I think Matt's spot on.
the conspiracy is that Zyn has everyone advertising for them on the
and
low.
they're, and
I
they're
understand.
not allowed. That
Yeah.
is not allowed. You're not allowed to advertise those nicotine products.
Yeah, and what I'm saying to you is
cigarettes.
much like cigarettes, they would have just woven it into the fabric of society through television and movies.
which is exactly what they're doing.
yeah, I'm saying.
Oh, so
what I'm
you're
saying,
agreeing with me?
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's no different than with cigarettes where
Oh no, it's exactly the same.
I guess
it's
it is.
so nefarious.
I swung.
it's weird that you're acting like they didn't have this book on the shelf already. It's the same companies. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
not mad at the tobacco company.
you're
I'm
mad
mad
at
at
you.
Joe Rogan.
Get over it.
Or Schultz or all these Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura who are clearly feeding us ads and think we're retarded.
Hold on though.
I just think everyone's addicted to it.
If Zyn came to us tomorrow and was like, "We'll give you $1 million for the year to do low-key Zyn ads,"
Oh, I would 100% do it. They're all rich already.
Kamar's joking on Zins. He's got, they're coming out of his mouth like teeth. Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
Fair
That's
enough.
not-
Okay.
That's
So-
not what I'm saying.
so who are you pissed
and
at
I'm
then?
not
You're- but you
saying
said-
that they shouldn't do it, but if they are doing it, they shouldn't be doing it sneaky.
But they have to, right? You
Yes.
said
no,
that
oh,
yourself.
no. I know they do. So in this case, if you're Andrew Schultz or you're Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, you don't do the Zyn ads. Like, there's plenty of other things you can hawk. You can hawk boner pills. You can hawk fucking illegal cannabis. You can hawk mushrooms. You can hawk whatever you want.
I
But
don't think that's how business works, though. Make hay, buddy. I just think it's weird.
they've all gone out of their way, Matt,
Yeah.
to say we're not doing this.
But just hear me out. Like we're
So
in a-
if they said they were doing it, then it'd be fine.
They can't say they're doing it.
I-
If they said nothing, it would be fine.
if they
Or
ju-
it
if
would
they-
be
if
it would
they-
be
if they
better.
just were
I
doing
guess.
it.
If they just do.
Oh, what's that? I don't know.
I'm just asking. Yeah, like, do you want it pixelated out of the shot? Like, I'm not pushing this
Yes,
vape. For
I think that's
example,
what he
right?
wants.
Like, I don't mention the vape brand. I don't tell people they should vape. But I sit here if you watch it, and you and I both vape the whole time, right? Are we low key doing vape? Come on.
They're not paying us.
Yeah, no, but you
For
get.
real, they're not paying us.
I'm gonna pixelate that out of the.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Like,
No, not really.
What I'm saying is, you and I are sitting here vaping the whole time. You're
I
not
know,
thinking
but you
about
keep
it.
comparing us, a bunch of poor people who need the money, to them, a bunch of millionaire and trillionaire
You're
or
just hating.
billionaire.
You're just pocket
I'm
watching.
not
You're pocket
fucking
watching.
hating. It's annoying.
Listeners, let us know if you think it's a Zinspiracy and they're flooding the market. And I guess you just think it's inappropriate. Like they're getting away with something, right? Like the kids, they're I don't understand.
I am I don't like to have my intelligence questioned. I don't care.
No one does.
I don't care if they're flogging cigarettes. This isn't about the kids. This is about you doing something that is so uber obvious to me and then looking me directly in my eyes and saying, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but Simon, you're
That's
forgetting.
too
No,
much.
but
I
you're
think it's
hold on.
Americana.
No, but you're missing the point. They can't say we're
Then-
doing this.
then
They
they-
can't do what you want them to do. So what they're doing, I think, instead,
And if
Simon,
you could do what they're doing, you would do
yeah.
it.
It
And I think
doesn't
you're, I think
matter.
you're missing the point too. That like they're doing it in a way, Simon, where they're trying to tell you, Mr. Know-It-all, they're winking. They're winking
Yes,
at you,
you-
giving you the nudge,
Yeah,
going,
buddy.
"We're advertising this
Your
shit, but we
intelligence
can't."
isn't being assaulted.
Yeah,
You know
and
what's
you're
going on.
taking it as an attack on your intelligence,
Yeah.
where they're literally going, "Buddy, I'm
back
trying to
with Matt.
push this in on you."
Back with Matt.
I mean, listen, when you say it that way, I like it.
Okay, now you're
But-
back on board.
But
Yeah.
that's not what they're doing. Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are out there trying to milk you out of your dollars.
No, hold on. Stop,
They all
stop,
are.
stop,
Everyone
stop,
is
stop,
trying to milk
stop.
everyone
Wait,
out of their
Everybody
dollars.
is trying to milk everyone out of their dollars.
That's what we're here to
Thank you.
do.
Simon, if you have a show and you go on
Remember
it,
our legacy program.
if you if you have a show and you go on it and you start calling your listeners broke bums for not joining your Patreon, that is different. Going out there and advertising how you keep the lights on, you're not. What did you say? What was the words you used? Pushing a product on you, or what was the words you used there?
I don't remember. I say
Clogging.
a lot. I say a lot
Clogging.
of things, Matt.
Sure. My point is just like, because we run an ad a week, hopefully, are we bilking people out of their money?
Yep.
No,
So how are they bilking people out of their money?
because tons of impressionable children. I guess it comes back to the children.
Oh my God.
You
So
don't
it is.
understand.
I think it's about the children. I think
so
it is.
full
I
of
think it's
shit.
about the children.
You are the
Until
worst
you get the
puritanical
offer.
cunt ever.
You're just sad you're not in on it,
Yeah.
and you know what's going on. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't like that I tell you things and then you use them as ammunition against me.
Because the alternative is the Logan play where they can talk about Prime and all they do is talk about Prime.
Okay, so aren't both of them so gross? Okay, you guys are pretending like they're just selling
So
No. We'll get back to that. But they're just selling these nicotine things and they're just doing them and that's the advertising. That's not. They're doing these like full pitches in the middle of shows and then pretending like they're not doing the pitch.
I feel like you're just the one guy who saw
because
the
they
spaceship.
can't tell you they're doing the pitch.
Then they shouldn't be selling the product.
Then the person shouldn't offer them the money to do it.
Well, that's stupid. Lots of people offer you a
fine.
lot of money to do
Do you
a lot of
understand,
fucking.
like-
No, man. I totally understand.
You two are staring at each other and getting frustrated with me. This is the biggest fucking topsy-turvy moment
No.
of all time on this program.
Okay, it's probably inappropriate. It's not right. It's sneaky. I mean,
Yeah, all of those things.
and
Wait a minute,
that's
wait a minute.
what
And you guys
business
are
is.
just like,
When did
just-
you become so puritanical?
Okay,
I
fuck
don't
off,
understand.
fuck off.
Yes.
No, I
It's
just don't
not.
get
It's
it.
about fairness and justice, and I've always been like this.
Okay, where
Check
is
the fucking tapes?
Stop. Where is the injustice? I'm just stop. Okay, listen, just hear me out. The government has said you can't advertise this product. So that company has found a nice workaround loophole, which is
They
what every
have
company.
children with mouths. To
Oh
feed.
yeah, this is an anti-government thing. I'm in.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I've done a full 180. I've
Quick.
changed
That was
my
so
stance.
quick, yeah.
Full 360.
so we can put this conspiracy to bed.
So they're doing the right thing at the end of the day by pushing Zin.
I mean,
on
I
the
don't,
youth.
the
Subverting
idea
the
of
government.
saying that Andrew Scholes and his crew are doing the right thing is really hard. These four Osos are doing the right thing is really hard. But
So
I guess
Can I ask you a question? If, again, huge hypothetical, if we have 1 million current listeners and we're making good bread off this podcast, if you start a company on the side outside of Kamar and I, are you ever going to mention it on this show? Are you going to push it on this show? Are you going?
no.
Because you don't want us to tarnish your product.
So,
How
sorry,
about this? You had your own podcast, okay? You have 1 million
I
listeners.
would talk about it on this show.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah.
I would use this show.
as a platform to push
To
that. So
springboard
you can
my
completely
own program.
understand what these guys are doing to feed their family for
Well,
the
hold
future.
on. I have no problem with them pumping up another show that they're doing on their podcast.
No,
by
not a
all
show, but you have a
means.
problem with them pushing their booze? Because you wanted to get to that, right? So let's talk about the Two Bears and their booze, because that's
Okay,
bothering you as
well-
well.
I mean, I just think that whole thing is so gross. And the way they did it was gross. Like, you probably don't follow
No.
like I do, but they did a whole episode where it was this giant reveal that their fans were going to be so happy about, and everybody had like all these theories about what it could possibly be that are they going to give all their fans money? Like, what is going on here? And they come out and it's another gimme money gimmick. You know what I mean? And then they have the audacity to say like, we scouted this out for 6 years or whatever the fuck it was, looking for the perfect blend of. Okay, you know what? I'm fucking done.
What?
Just move-
Describe-
just
you're,
move
you're
on.
describing like
Just move
marketing and branding and like success, like in some weird way. It's like we used to
Are you even Jewish? What's happening here?
remember it was like DD7 or like it washes, it cleans, like that's what it is. That's what this is. It's just what the problem is? It's the product.
No,
'cause
it's the people.
Okay.
okay, let me ask you a question though. At what point, at what point in your bank account do you stop advertising? Let's say again, let's go back to this. Simon has created his own podcast. Okay, you have your own podcast that is successful on your own. You do it once a week, and it brings in tons of money. Okay, you have $5 million in the bank. Your house is paid off. Shep has a trust fund. Everyone's taken care of.
Everyone's taken care of.
Okay, you have 5 million free and clear in your checkings account.
5 million.
Yeah, are you still running ads for anything ever on your show?
I'm not doing the podcast anymore. I'm living on a fucking island.
How about this?
in
How about this,
Mexico or
Simon?
whatever.
Okay.
Nike paid MLB.
Hold on, wait. I'm sorry, I have to go back. Please write that down. Though. Nike paid MLB. You have a money printing machine. You have a funnel.
No, I would still do it.
Thank you. No, back to you.
No,
Nike paid,
I would run ads still.
of course you would. Nike paid MLB.
$1 billion to put the swoosh on every jersey.
Okay.
So Nike isn't baseball, but they've paid to be represented. That you always see it. That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right.
Sure.
I see what you guys are doing there, but it's all right.
Sure.
But when they do the Zin, it's not all right.
I thought we had gotten past the Zen.
Oh, okay, we're past it.
We're on to Osos now.
I don't know what that is.
4 Osos.
Save it for the post, Joe. So Duncan thinks, and this was really interesting that I thought about when you guys are going off on Hollywood or whatever. Kids are putting down their phones. And what if there's like green belt generations? So we are stuck in the technology sort of generation. Now there's a new generation that is actually rejecting this, and they're going to sort of live adjacent. And then the next one coming up will embrace technology even more.
I mean, listen, there's a chance that like a generation right now will just be over social media. Like, there's nothing saying that social media is going to stick around indefinitely.
This thing
there's
that we're like,
nothing
it's
saying
the
that.
devil, it's the worst.
You know why it is? And I agree. In a normal course of events, it probably goes the way these people are talking about, that the kids revolt and they want to do the opposite of what the establishment. The algorithm is something we've never seen before. It preys on parts of yourself that you don't even know can be exploited. Like, it's so much smarter than any form of advertising ever was ever. We've taken such a massive jump.
No, but you're missing my point is like, you're right, but you have to log on for the algorithm to have any effect on you. And what I'm saying is like, there's potential that these kids coming up will be like, yeah, my parents use social media. That's fucking lame. You know what I mean? Like that, and it'll be the next thing, which could be worse than social media for all we know. Like, we also do this thing where it's like, we'll get rid of social media and we'll create something that's better. We could create something that's far worse.
Well, I mean, you're the first one to say that the next place we probably go is to some like virtual whatever. All of that if you're in the virtual space, if you're there to play the games, to enjoy the amazingness, you're also going to be getting the ads. You're going to be getting the algorithm. Like that's going to be the trade-off, right?
Not always. There's
I
some
mean,
apps.
it has been thus far.
No, but there's some apps. Listen, a lot of apps that are games you can buy for free, and then they bombard you with ads.
Okay.
And then there's other app that you can buy that same app for $6,
Well,
and there's no ads, right?
Yeah, but you're already on your phone. They're already getting what they need from you, I would imagine, you know? I don't know.
I mean, we've had this conversation before, though. The data, like, it's going to come to an end.
I think it's easier for, like, let's just take the hippies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're trying to, like, fight against the establishment, and it's easier to do that when the establishment consists of 3 radio networks. Like, everything is just so different now. This idea that people are just going to, like, tune away from the internet, it seems
I'm not
literally impossible at this point, and by no fault of their
It's
own.
like putting down the
like-
phone and getting rid of all guns, I suppose.
I bet you it's easier to get rid of all guns than it is to get rid of all phones.
You've been saying it for a while, but I really did feel some friction between Joe and Jamie in this episode.
Yeah.
For the first time, I've always thought it's a friendly banter. Like, I don't know if you've heard Lewis will be really rude to his producers or whatever, but it's obviously his running gag. But
He's still his boss.
and I think maybe it's just a product of working the same person over. Like, it's a shorthand that people are quick with each other. That sort of, you know, when a kid talks sort of rudely to their parent.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that, but like, it just, that's their love language.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, people, you know, no matter how luxurious a job seems to you, because it might be better than your job or different than your job, there's a good chance it still worked to that person. Like Jamie, as we can sit here and be like, imagine all the perks, imagine how sweet it would be. Like, I bet there's most days Jamie shows up and is like, I'd rather be on the golf course. Right, like a sunny day in Texas, and he's like,
depending on the
I gotta
guests.
sit here and listen to Joe tell the same
if
7
it's Mike
stories.
Baker, for
That's it, yeah,
sure.
for Mike fucking Baker.
Oh my
like,
God, I just got it. He's got caches of the windows to have open because he knows what topics are going to come out,
course
so
he
he's
does.
not Googling anything.
I've said that a million times. He's got 50
And he does
open
go
tabs.
slow when it's a new guest because he has no idea where they're coming from. He doesn't have their algo yet. Wow. Breakthrough. Have you guys ever got hit on by a guy?
Is this a come online?
No, they were talking about, like, it makes you feel, I got hit on by a guy last night. I mean, I did this note days ago.
Must have been one desperate fella.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but they're overbearing and just like trying to talk to you. You don't know who they are. It's the weirdest thing.
I sat down at Oz one night for a couple drinks, and I was on my phone, and I was like chatting up Oz and the staff and whatever. And this gay dude was like one seat over, and he started like joining the conversation, and I could tell he kept looking over at my phone, which I thought was weird. And then I looked over at his phone, and he had Grindr open. And he was, I was like, is he looking to see if I'm on Grindr? Like, is that what's going on
So he
here?
did give you some sort of eyes, like,
Well, I don't know. I
Hey,
never,
Pete?
Kamar, first of all,
They met on Grindr. What didn't you understand about the story?
That's why I
Weird
was
way to
there,
admit
obviously.
something.
Yeah. No, but when you're drunk, I mean, I never thought, I'm 41. I've never thought anyone was hitting on me. Not women or men ever in my life. I've never been like, I think this person likes me.
really?
Really.
I guess I'm just that hot.
Kamar, I've gotten girls to my house and been like, how did I trick this broad into this? Like,
Yeah, you can't tell her
she's
that.
going to leave any
You
second.
got to act like you've been there.
What's she here to steal?
I have nothing.
Then they take a pee break, and Duncan comes back and says, it's embarrassing. Should I talk about it? And Joseph says, no, don't talk about your watch. So I think he gifted him a real nice Rolex or something. And then he asks a very interesting question, which is the one thing that's glaring about Duncan is he has a special and he hasn't put it out. Of all the people in the Rogan sphere.
So that means that Netflix is not like knocking down his door to buy that special.
Well, maybe the special they got from him was his happy hour or whatever it was, magical mystery tour thing.
No, I'm saying like if Netflix wanted to buy that special, he would have sold it to Netflix, I'm sure.
It's a money thing, too.
No,
Pardon me?
Well, if the money's not right.
I
think-
mean, then money's always right
I
with
think
Netflix.
he admitted it, and he was like, "No, I have to tour, and I don't have a new hour yet."
So he doesn't want to release the special?
That's what I thought he was saying, and I
I
mean,
thought he couldn't find somebody to put it out.
No, he was saying, I don't know what to do, but like everyone just puts it on YouTube. Ari, Joe List, like the list goes on.
Yeah, but you don't make money off that, right?
Yeah, Joe never mentions that.
That's
do,
that's
you
a
do.
full it's an exposure.
No, but you
thing.
do make some money. If you have 8 million views on a video, you make some money.
What do you think you make off that?
I don't know, $60,000.
That's my point.
Is that much?
Yeah, but
That's not that much. The special is going to cost $200,000.
Yeah, way
that's
more.
my point is if Netflix is going to give you $500,000,
Yeah.
you want that over putting it on YouTube and rolling the dice at 60K, like high end 60K.
Did
yeah,
you?
but that's better than taking, $450,000 to have it go to HBO Max or Showtime and maybe not
Well, no, you would. I'm not
get
saying
as much exposure.
forget the exposure. I'm saying Netflix will give you hard cash. Like, listen,
And the exposure.
if you're Louis, you have a large enough audience where you can release it on your own platform and make $1 million in 4 days. You should do that. But
I'm saying Duncan is Duncan.
He doesn't have enough of an audience,
I agree.
obviously, to release it on YouTube, or he would have done that already, or he's waiting for one of those other places to buy it.
And I'm
Maybe
arguing
he
he
was
doesn't have a
hoping-
new hour.
Maybe he was hoping
Yeah,
Joe would put
could
in
be.
a good word for him, kind of like he did for Tony Hinchcliffe, apparently, on the roast.
I was just about to get there.
He phoned Netflix
He messaged,
and,
he
uh,
messaged Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady directly. Sorry.
I just love the idea of Joe on his phone texting Aaron Rodgers like, "Hey man, I know this sounds weird, but you got to have Tom Brady's number, right? You think,
Yeah, right.
you think I can
exactly.
get that from you?" And then like,
Is that how you think it happened?
why not? That's the quickest. That's
I-
the shortest A to B,
I
right?
saw a clip of
Maybe the
Tony
agent.
talking
guess,
about
yeah.
going up and saying to Tom, "Nice shoes. Did you get those in the divorce?" Was
Nice
this
shoes, bitch.
bitch? Did you get those in the divorce? And Tom said, "No, but they're gonna end up your ass." And then Tony was like, he was serious, and I didn't know whether I should acknowledge it or keep going with my monologue.
I'm telling you,
kept
Tom
going.
Brady was the worst person to roast. I know it was a great roast, but he like, if you can't take it, don't be there. If things are off limit, don't be there. It should
No,
be
no. If someone says something, like, fuck you. And
No.
You're not supposed to say that as the roastee. You're supposed to sit there and
Yeah,
be
you sit there and
quiet
fucking
until it's
take
your
it.
turn
Yeah.
to roast them.
I don't think so.
Dude, go back and watch the roast. Nobody threatens people
Yeah.
while they're
No
up there.
6'8"
That's crazy.
fucking football player.
That's fucking
Yeah, thank you,
crazy.
Simon.
I can't believe you're taking Tom Brady's side on this. It's almost like you just want to
No.
listen. I'll admit I'm fucking jealous of all the people with the nice houses and the vodka deals, but this is ridiculous.
I would say Tom Brady would never commit violence. He was being hyperbolic.
No, I'm
And
saying
it's an
you're not supposed to say that. The roastie is not supposed to say that.
Sure.
No.
You can defend yourself.
No.
Why not?
Maybe if you're a comedian.
It's a perfect comeback.
That is not a perfect comeback at all. That's a threat of violence.
No,
Yeah, I disagree.
It's not funny. It's not. Nobody heard it except
you
Tony.
make fun of my shoes, and I say, well, I'll shove it up your ass.
Yeah, that's weird when you're hired to do a roast of that guy. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's like me inviting you over to my house and be like, yo, roast me. And then I fucking threaten you because I don't like the roast.
Yeah.
He's right. Don't be on the roast then.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, fine. You know
Listen,
what?
I told you, a guy we know well is like one of the best rappers ever. He could have been one of the best battle rappers ever, but he has a daughter and a short fuse. So he never got into battle rapping. Just because he knew, he was like, one day someone's going to bring it up. Someone's going to mention her name. And I'm going to have to fucking cold cock this guy on camera and go to jail.
I think if you call the greatest football player ever a bitch,
Yeah.
he's going to have a comeback. But I don't think he had any ill intention towards Tony.
No, it's like, I go back to it. Roasts are meant for comedians and celebrities, not sports people.
But yes, when is the special coming out?
Like imagine if there was a roast of Aaron Hernandez while he was alive. How many comedians do you think would have died?
The roast of Aaron Hernandez. That is when I always realize Americans and Canadians. I don't think anyone would do suicide roast jokes in Canada. We're too sensitive.
What?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You
When-
would do. Yeah, oh, come on, get out of here. We're not too sensitive.
No, I do suicide joke and it doesn't really work. Or it works for my purposes.
Ben Bankus is. I follow him, and he's like Austin is just 100 times better than Canada.
Austin?
Yeah, he moved to Austin.
Just the city.
Well, no, but in
It's better
general,
than the whole country.
well, in general, he was saying, he was like, the comedy scene, he's like, first of all, people are welcoming here. He's like, the comedy scene in Canada is awful. He's like,
awful.
everyone hates each other. No one's trying to help you out. He's like, you could show up to do a set and someone with 600 Instagram followers would be like, no, you can't come on. And he's like, it's a rising tide lifts all ships.
But it's awful here because a thing that affects a lot of Canadian industries is it's so hard.
Scarcity.
It's so hard just to do, and you're doing it to get nowhere.
Yep.
There isn't like I can't tell you a handful of people that I know in Canada who make a living. Anyone I know who makes a living is American in America. That's just point final. So it's you try so hard, it's so difficult, and it may in the end just be futile unless you do that final step and move. But he went hardcore making fun of Olivia Chow and
Ben Bankus, yeah.
like super racist. Like,
Yeah.
Did
He
that
does the
thing,
voice, yeah.
leaned into
Oh,
it.
hello, I'm Olivia Chow.
He was just coming to Ottawa, selling out, and he made the money so he could move to Austin.
Yeah.
But
Good for him.
You've got to pick that lane and get it. Yeah.
I mean, he did comedy in 17 years in Canada. So
No, he's not overnight success. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. It's interesting that roast battles, like, it didn't catch on like Kill Tony did. I mean, there was roast battle TVs, but you watch it, they're not good. It's not. It's
in
a
a way-
live thing.
in a way, Kill Tony took a piece of that.
Roast battles started before Kill Tony. That's possible.
What I'm saying though is like there is a roast battle element to Kill Tony.
They all roast the person after they do their minute.
Yeah, and then sometimes that person claps back, and when David Lucas goes up with Tony, that's clearly like a 5-minute roast battle. Like what I'm saying, I get what you're saying. I think doing the whole half hour or hour of roast battle sometimes is a bit much. Like I think people just are like, oh my God. You can only say oh my God for so
The
long.
roast battle was clunky too, like the way the judges would talk, like it never flowed. Like Kill Tony flows, you know what I mean? It makes sense.
And
Well, it's
roast,
more of a
roast
variety
battles
show
are just for
almost.
Yeah.
comedians. It is a writing exercise, but I don't find them entertaining. Like I've gone to roast. And, whoa, I can't believe they said that. There's moments.
Well, and if you don't really know the people, also like they're funny when it's like a famous person against a famous person.
Or the joke is really funny. I do not think a Lucas Hinchcliffe show would be entertaining, contrary to Joe's opinion.
No, well, Joe thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. I agree. Sometimes it's funny. Most of the time, what's his name says aren't even jokes. They don't even make sense, and people laugh. You know, they just want to laugh, which is fine.
No, I like that one interaction in that moment, but I don't think it'd be a weekly.
it's
Which
really
Joe, no, you guys must.
It's really funny when Shane's on.
Well, Shane is God.
Shane really is.
Did you see?
He's hilarious.
This is the post show, but
Tires
I
is
digress.
not
No,
great.
I'm
No,
gonna hold on to
it wasn't great.
Okay.
I agree.
But in this
sorry.
post Joe.
Okay, post Joe, but I agree with that.
So
Also, the guy who created his name is McKeever.
he's the most awkward guy.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
the main character,
Yeah, the skin suit. I understood what you were talking about when
is
I
he
watched
wearing a skin suit?
No, I think he's
That's his real
he's got-
thing?
He's got some sort of
Blessed.
Because have you seen his fingers?
No.
If you watch his fingers carefully, he clearly has some sort of ailment.
Absolutely blessed.
I think that's all I'm gonna absolutely bless.
Fucking guy. Can't with him.
So
Redacted.
Duncan
Totally
starts
redacted.
talking about his wife had a book, the new 40 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey. The newest one, Does It Hurt?
Mars is on discount.
Oh yeah,
40
the
shades of-
shark, smashes her head on the thing, puts her head in the water, fucks her from behind as the sharks come and eat her face.
And you read this?
No, they told us all about it.
Yes. So that leads me to this. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm laughing at you.
Bigfoot erotica.
They already have it. They talked
That's
about
what you're
it.
going to do.
That's what I'm gonna write. Bigfoot erotica.
Oh no, we're gonna step it up on Simon. You're gonna.
well, you just get AI to do it.
I was just gonna
right?
say you're gonna eliminate the middleman and Chat
I'm
GPT.
sure-
can
I
write
just
some-
need the ideas.
I'm sure-
And trust me.
I'm sure-
Oh, I
I
know
got
you've got them.
ideas.
You got ideas. ChatGPT will do a rough draft and you'll just tear it to shreds.
See, because nobody's taken the Bigfoot fucking the women. That's obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking other animals. That's where nobody's gone yet.
Of course, that's where.
Because
he
there's
goes.
no going to enforce no laws.
There's
Sodomy
nobody going to
there.
enforce
Yeah.
no laws on Bigfoot. It's
Yeah.
one animal fucking another. It's not illegal for a horse to fuck a lion. It's not possible and usually not It's not understood, but it's not illegal.
What did Casey Rocket say? He said, you fuck one lobster, it's a felony. You fuck it twice, you better put a ring on it.
That's funny.
Okay, so psychedelics in the 60s, like, how many years do you think it took to build the Empire State Building?
4, 3.
One. In 1930.
Well, they were in a race.
Well, and less regulations.
That's the only thing I can think. People were on weekends, overtime. There's
billionaires were racing billionaires to see who was going to get the biggest. It was the Empire State Building against the Chrysler Building, and like it was a whole thing. And when you have that competition pushing you, you can work a lot faster than you normally
in
would.
1930 with their technology.
Because you're willing to spend a lot of money.
Kamar, I can give you an example. When I
So
lived,
stuff could still be built here in a year, but they just don't want to spend the
That's
money?
correct.
Okay.
it's also
That's
regulations and
100%
red tape.
correct.
Kamar, when I
That too.
When I
which
lived
they
in New
didn't
York,
have back then.
you would watch scaffold guys all over the city, everywhere. The scaffolding all over the city whenever they're doing stuff on the outside of a building. The guys you watch do the scaffolding with all the safety regulations, do it at half the speed of the guys who's up there with no fucking. And you'd see a ton of them, dude. Sorry, go ahead. No, I'm just, when you watch a guy who's untethered, he's fucking ripping this stuff off, dropping it down so fast.
They used to hire the Indians because they had the best balance.
Yeah,
The
they were all.
Native
It was all Native
Americans.
Americans that built the fucking Empire State.
None of them wore anything. None of them followed any regulations. You can't do that now. Everything has been slowed down by red tape. They used to cowboy shit back then. Remember we talked about this like not too long ago? Like that's how fucking industries were made, by guys cowboying shit.
Yeah,
and
like, if you
that's
look
why
at-
nothing
Well, that is
exists in
far less
America
interesting
anymore
than a blip
because
in
of
history
all
where,
the fucking
technology
red
was
tape.
erased.
Well, Kamar, like if you look at
Ataria.
look at the Golden Gate Bridge, like hundreds of people died building that thing because again they were like, oh, we lost 4 more today. Like that's
Look
also
at,
you.
look at the railways.
Yeah,
Like you think they could, anyways.
I feel like Eric Weinstein, we're just not as advanced as we should be. When I look at that, the Empire State Building was built in 365 days in 1930.
Did he say Arab Winstein?
Eric Weinstein,
Oh,
Thank you.
Arab Weinstein. That sounds like an instrument.
And
Have you played my Arab Weinstein?
that's the most interesting conspiracy that I don't know if we have an expert, but I guess the chaos guy. But the benefits of psychedelics and then the demonization, like that messy, murky, which we're just coming out of now, right? Like had it not been demonized, had nuclear energy been embraced, where we would be with psychedelics and just people's how we treat each other.
I mean, I know you're not going to like this. There's a lot of people that think that if we had never fucked with religion, we'd be far more advanced than we are.
If religion did not exist. Well, that sort of finishes up because
well, religion is kind of like the antithesis to logic, right?
Yep. Well, and also the Dark Ages were directly because of religion.
but religion, i.e. the Bible,
The Inquisitions and stuff. Is that all?
Yeah. And like Galileo, like if you were scientific at all, it was like lock them up, heresy.
Which is interesting, right? Because right now we're in the process of like locking up the crazies who say the earth is flat or whatever, right? When we look back when we look back in history, almost anyone who had any revolutionary idea that today is canon
I said
was locked up and put away as a fucking maniac. So just watch who you call a maniac, I guess.
we don't lock them up. Like Terrence Howard is on tour right now.
No, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just making the point that
you know what I mean. We don't lock them up anymore, but we also make sure that they can't
yeah, I'm with you. I'm not
get
disagreeing.
their idea out there with any credibility.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Yeah.
And Terrence Howard, that's a tough one because I still don't understand what he's saying, so I'm not sure whether he's right or wrong.
But for a while, the Bible was the only entertainment.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Well, no,
The Bible was around. There were other things written. There were
Music is really old.
what? You think the Bible was the only book? Nobody else wrote anything.
Or
just
No, but
the
forget
Bible.
writing. I just said music is very old. Like as long as there's
I'm
been
glad
music.
you said
and
that 'cause
stories
that-
have been told since the beginning of time.
But it's
But his argument is that it's all. Sorry, go ahead.
It's propaganda. The Bible was the first propaganda, and now music, as we're learning, is probably propaganda. As films,
yep.
China's influence, propaganda.
And that's probably why you're so brainwashed, because you love music so much.
But you think there were other
Yeah, all
stories?
my music is anti-Jewish.
No. You don't even know it is. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't listen to Drake, obviously.
No. His music is pro-Israel heavy.
Well, I don't know, but anyways.
There were all the stories before the Bible.
Gaza, do you love me? Do you need me?
Is there a story older than the Bible?
I mean,
Yes.
there had to have been.
Yes, there is.
And that's the Dead Sea Scrolls.
It's the Mesopotamian
And like we said,
Anunnaki tablets.
the translation, the numbers mean letters. Who knows what they actually meant? Tuesday. But lastly, it's,
Did he say Tuesday or Tuesday?
I've just learned to let that stuff go. Those are
you.
like
Yeah,
poignant. Just let him. Yeah,
I was cooking, man.
I know. Yeah, let the man cook.
Let him cook.
I was cooking, man.
How resilient religion is to like all the fucking guys scamming money to their face, getting on jet planes, the pastors, the molesters, the suicide bombers, like in all factions, all these like negative things. And well, it's not me. There's some bad seeds, and that's like the evil that has to coexist, it would appear.
Well, if religion is a sinister proposition from the start, and I'm not saying it is, but if,
Yeah.
then all of that would make sense, right? Because it would just be the natural progression.
So there's two things. Religion was actually someone spoke to God and put it into a book, or someone said, "This is what we're going to do."
Let's pretend we're speaking to God so we can make a lot of money.
How different is that to someone creating AI?
Or vodka.
Well, no, I mean, you create the Bible and then it gets out of control.
No, it's a Chat GPT might as well be the Bible. You're creating a thing that everybody is going to use as canon, as I'm going to use this and it's going to give me the right answer. And really, it has
So it's a natural.
But we've always had
progression.
that.
Yep.
No, I know. And we're usually not aware of it, though. That's the thing, right? Like a normal person, I'm just saying, my father, a normal person, they read the newspaper, they think that's somebody telling them the truth.
Yeah.
That's because when they were young, it probably was, for the most part, telling them the truth.
Well, I mean, just
I'm
think,
sure
maybe.
younger people are way more savvy and think everything's bullshit.
No,
and are able to fact check.
no, you are totally wrong.
you're forgetting
totally wrong.
You're forgetting too that like simply think about an encyclopedia. Let's say an encyclopedia had a misprint that no one noticed for 20 years. It's been printed a million times. We all now have this encyclopedia that has a wrong answer in it,
Yep.
but we're all treating it
That
like
might
it's
be
gospel.
where the Mandela effect comes from.
Sure.
It's just one Encyclopedia Britannica from 1 year where they called it the Berenstain Bears. And
Dude, there's a new one. It's the Seven Dwarves. Hi ho, hi ho. What do they say?
it's Off to Work We Go.
That's not what they
It
say.
is. I just listened to the album. It's Off to Work. They say a bunch of things, and one of them is Off to Work We Go.
Because I saw the guy play he pulled out the old vinyl and played
I watched
it.
the same
Oh,
thing.
did you?
It
Okay.
says a bunch of different things, but one of them is
Okay.
Hi ho.
he's saying that the right one was it's Off to Home We Go.
To work we go.
Was that it? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
It's off to work we go. That's
Well, they
what I've
say a
always thought
bunch
it
is what he's saying. Yeah.
They say a bunch, and that's not the main one. Like there are other ones that are repeated more.
Yeah.
But that's the one they went
That's
with.
the one we stuck.
Well, that's the
that stuck
easiest
with
thing
us.
to fake or whatever. Elegantly Wasted. Oh, and I remember I told you guys about Oasis shitting on Michael Hutchinson
Who the fuck is Michael Hutchinson?
in excess.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he
okay.
wasn't out there, but yeah.
He wrote a song called Elegantly Wasted, and in it he goes, "Elegantly wasted, better than Oasis."
It was the very first diss track, is what Kamar's saying. Long before the rappers, the rockers were doing.
Oh
it.
no, this is the same time that.
Well, look at Leonard.
Biggie,
Look
this is
at
the same time as
Leonard.
Biggie.
Look at Leonard Skinner, and
That's my theory.
That's the
my theory.
original
That's the
beef.
original diss track.
Which one?
Leonard
Leonard
Skinner
Skinner and Neil
Southern
Young.
Man,
Yeah. Don't
Oh,
need
yeah,
him
yeah.
round
Yeah, yeah.
anyhow.
and Sweet Home Alabama.
That whole song is just like a big diss on Neil Young.
Yeah.
Neil Young sucks.
Yeah,
No,
agreed.
that is my first in-depth ChatGPT documentary.
Agreed. Talk about the worst guy to represent Canada. You know what I mean?
It's got to be done.
You know who owns all his music, by the way?
Michael
BlackRock.
Jackson.
No, BlackRock.
Leonard Skinner?
Oh,
Or
really?
Neil
Yeah,
Young?
they own all of Neil Young's music.
And
yeah.
that's why it had to come off Spotify.
No, that was just Virtual Signal.
No, I think they bought it after all that, or I can't remember, but I know that I'm pretty sure one of those. I'm almost positive it's
That's
BlackRock
so
owns his
gross,
whole.
eh? That's so gross.
But keep in mind, they own it through like multiple subsidiaries.
It's like subliminal advertising. That's what you think it is, eh? That's the worst. Oh my God. Hey man, I always love Duncan. He is so
Duncan.
lucky. He is so lucky to have Joe in his life. Peace be him. Oh, quote of the show and maybe the week: the gates of hell are locked from the inside.
No, quote of the show. I don't remember his name. It was something interesting like sandwich.
Oh yeah, back to that. So that's racism. That the world just doesn't care. Yemen and Haiti. Like Haiti is really bad. Like the worst thing going on in the world right now, and it's not
I don't think it's. Hold on.
emergency Haiti like it was when they had an earthquake.
But I was
at
just
least 3 weeks. Haiti, Haiti.
What I was gonna say is that Haiti's been fucked for 2 decades. So I think we're all kind of like,
I know, pick a disaster.
We
I guess.
like the newest person getting fucked.
well, no, it's even then. Like, listen, Wyclef Jean is from Haiti, and he fucked them.
Yeah, he's gone until November
That's my line.
19 or
That's my line.
2027 or something.
Yeah, you get my point though. Is like
He's
the
in
guy
jail.
from there doesn't even want to fucking help.
Oh, this is so weird and totally random. But did you know Ukraine and Russia in the war? Up until now, America and Germany, if we give you a gun, you can't shoot it at Russia. You can fight them and die all you want, but you can't do this. And they just give them permission to shoot inside Russia 2 years in. Is it the most ridiculous?
Wait, you change that. It's inside of Russia. So they can use it to defend their country. They can't use it to invade Russia.
Russia is shooting from inside Russia and
Yeah.
hitting Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine could only shoot at someone if they were in
The Ukraine, yes,
Ukraine.
defending their own
If there was a
country.
mortar there, we can't shoot that because he's on the like.
I don't believe any of that shit.
Is that the rules? Like these? Well, no, or you don't get any. And they have adhered to it, and now they're not going to do it. It's the same thing as like who was saying if America wanted Israel to stop doing something, they just say no more guns,
No more money, no more guns. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, there are many ways they could do it. The fact that they do nothing tells you that they have no interest in stopping it.
But if you're
course they have no
if someone
interest in
invades you,
stopping
if someone invades you, and I'm like, hey, here, defend yourself. I'm not telling you, but you can only
Yeah, I don't believe what you're saying. That's what I said in the first place. I don't believe that was ever a rule, and I don't believe that was something that the Ukrainians were following. Yeah, we're in war, but we're not going to do. Fuck you.
I'm so glad, but that's how ridiculous it is. Anyways,
I mean, Kamar, you're also forgetting that like you may be reading into it the wrong way. Like think about Al Qaeda, for example. Like if America had said to them, "Hey, by the way, you can't ever use these guns against us," they might have been like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah,
it
and
was a gentleman's handshake.
maybe it's the loophole. Like Germany has some weird agreement with Russia that they'll never, sell somebody guns to use against
That's
them,
what I'm
but
saying.
they'll sell them guns to
Defend
not
themselves.
use against them.
Well, no, because you could argue the argument could be made again. The argument can be made that like, look, we're giving you these guns to defend yourself, not to invade a neighboring country.
Yeah.
Is there someone in Russia looking at every shell just to make sure, like an audit of what we're getting hit
Of
with?
course not. Are we done with Duncan?
I give it a 2.
Give it a 2? I give it a 4. I love Duncan. This was great.
4.
Well, the week stunk,
Holy
and I listened to this
shit.
one last.
I
so-
give it a 2.5. 2.5.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the first half. We're going to take a break. We might pay a bill, and we will be right back. We're back.
In time. Back in time.
Come on, can I get a name and a number?
Welcome back, listeners. If you can't take a joke, 2158 Harlan Williams.
You're in the wrong place. If you can't take a joke.
Yeah, well, no, but this is. What do you guys think of Harlan?
Well, this takes bit-bitty to the whole
thank
next
you.
level,
Thank
man.
you.
This isn't even bit-bitty. This is like baddie.
This was brutal. The celery.
No, you know what? Part of
We're just getting warmed up here.
part of me
Let
was
us
like,
cook.
this is terrible, and part of me was like, this is fucking hilarious.
Well, that's what a gag is.
It was a really thin line. Joe didn't even know he was being trolled half of the time,
Which is insane.
which is insane. But that just shows you how disconnected Joe is to humor.
yeah.
No, I think 20 minutes in, he started with the tapeworm. I
Yeah.
think that was the first thing, and I think Joe figured out buy the celery. Buy the celery. He knew.
Really?
Dude.
When he named the tapeworm?
I don't think he knew until
I still don't think he knows.
halfway through. But there was a hilarious moment where Joe spills the coffee and Harlan says, "Oh, do you need this?" and passes him the celery. Oh my God, I almost pissed my pants. And Joe says, "Yeah, I don't think that'll work."
But have you ever seen Harlan been serious?
No.
No.
And I was hoping for that.
Did you see him on Kill Tony?
Yep.
It was so funny, man. So he comes with this DeVry diploma of comedy or some shit. And the whole episode, he's just like harping back to this diploma. Every time he has like a joke that bombs, he's like lifting it up. I'm a graduate. He's funny, man. He's stupid and funny. And like he's goofy. And it almost feels like more legit.
Canadian?
Yeah, than Tom Green being goofy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because you've never actually seen him serious, where you've seen Tom Green be serious. So this guy's like, he's never broken the
Character.
I've never seen him not be this
I concur.
on
good point.
every podcast he goes on.
And just in life in general.
Every character
I mean,
he's ever
I guess
played.
any other time you see him, he is on stage. He is doing a show. He's
Yeah, I'm
doing
not
the
his
act.
buddy. I've never seen him at like a barbecue or anything.
Well, what's weird is they started talking about the Twilight Zone, which are all great shows. And this episode turned into an episode of the Twilight Zone.
This episode was terrible.
It had its moments.
Just
Animal-
constantly chewing celery.
Animals like attacking to protect their kids. Is that a weird thing of consciousness that we don't think about as much?
What do you mean?
We just think as animals are all just like survival, blah, 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 but there is some sort of the mama bear protects her cubs
Okay, well,
because she loves them.
Animals in the wild, just without babies, okay? Animals in the wild are doing one of two things. They're either hunting or they're trying to stay alive. Those are like the two, you're either prey or you're predator. The babies is like that other, they're not hunting you, but they'll attack you to save their children.
Protect the children, yeah.
Is that what you,
I watched a wildebeest, or there was a bunch of wildebeests at a watering hole, and then a crocodile comes up and just grabs one by the neck, and they all scurry. It's super chaotic, and drags it in, and they just stand there. Then slowly they just creep back down, and they go to start drinking again.
it's what happens.
They don't think about, well, Larry just got jacked. Maybe we should come back here later.
I think it's like literally a numbers game with those herd animals. And they have
Yeah, definitely.
no. They have
it's a different comparison.
offspring every year.
It's a different comparison.
It's
You're right.
not like humans where you'll have one baby every. You know what I mean? You're only gonna have 3 children your whole life. They're gonna have 24 litters or whatever the fuck they're called. And yeah, I think it's a numbers game. It's like they need to drink in times of drought in the jungle or wherever, the savannah. Those watering holes become really small. I know this because of Naked and Afraid. They become really small and all the animals have to drink. So you're going to take your chances down at the watering hole because if you're down there, then the things that are hunting you are going to be hanging out there waiting for you to come.
They should do 23andMe for animals.
Why?
Well, there'd be families.
Oh, I think they do that.
Because life as a bear, Joe talks about a lot, but if you really think about it, is the most amazing thing.
Life as a bear.
Aside from hunters, you just
Nothing is hunting
you just walk around and you're in a store with all the goodies and everything, and it's just that's the
I think some of these
Tops.
animals like only get a couple of kills a year. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting you got a 48-foot tapeworm eating away your
Yeah, that's
insides. That's like,
disgusting.
yeah, you're the king of the fucking forest, but there's a parasite eating you alive from
So
the inside.
who's really the king?
Yeah.
But like these grizzlies that live by the salmon, those things must live amazing lives. Like all they have to worry about is fighting other bears.
But the salmon aren't there all year round, are they? Don't they just swim upstream to?
Yeah, but then they hibernate. So like, remember,
Yeah, I guess,
bears
yeah,
are gonna
yeah,
sleep
yeah,
a lot of
you
the
just
year.
wake up, go eat the fish,
Eat the
jump
fish,
into your paw, have some sex.
fuck a bitch, fight a couple of dudes, and head back to sleep.
It's the best life in the world. And then after the tapeworm wasn't
the
enough,
best life in
he
the world.
reveals the bear scar.
Dude, that was so funny.
It was so funny. It was undeniably
When
funny.
Joe tells him to go back, they should take him back to Canada for what he's done to him.
But then he goes one further and pulls up his sleeve, and he's got a yellow scratch because that was a mountain lion.
It was on the other side, actually.
Oh, sorry for
you
those
had been watching.
watching.
And then the scarf fell off. Oh, man. It was perfect. Every like stupid thing that Joe loves, he made some joke around. It
So
was
yes,
great.
so that was the subtext of his gag, was trying to break down why Joe's into hunting.
I also like where he was like, we could do one of them cold plunges. And Joe's like, I've got one here. He's like, I want to go to the one at your house, Joe. And then Joe was like, it seems like you just want to be invited over. He's like, that's right, I do. Then he's like, we could do a workout in the morning. And he goes, absolutely not.
Yeah, I am just frustrated that we didn't get to know Harlan anymore.
Is this the first time Harlan had been on? Mm-hmm. I thought he had been on before.
It's a good question.
Yeah, and I realize now all the notes, it's very difficult because I started sort of pursuing what they're talking about just to be another gag. But there's a hailstorm in Texas. I was in the biggest hailstorm in Australian history.
Wow.
Just one of those things you're talking about, like,
Being there.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. You weren't like,
I don't put on my resume. But you can look it up and say, oh, that was it. And what's crazy is it was only, I don't know, 42 minutes or whatever.
how big was the hail?
The size of my fist and bigger. Like,
That's crazy.
Every car was indented,
Wow.
like beveled.
That's crazy.
All the windows are smashed. It was insane and so fast. I don't think anyone died, but it was more the city was destroyed, and there's nothing you do about that.
It looks like it was his first appearance on.
That's crazy.
Hail in the summer is so fucking weird.
This is different hail though. Any hail we see, you may actually want to go under cover for a tree, but it's not. This could kill you. So if you're in a field, you're fucked.
Joe has now had the entire cast of Half Baked on with the main characters.
I like that math.
Interesting.
Brewer, Chappelle, Harlan.
I bet you could say that about a lot of movies.
That he's had the entire main cast. I doubt it.
Let's get ChatGPT on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Hey, Chapiti.
It would suck to be, I guess they were talking about it. You are successful and you have 3 girls and all your friends and you go to the beach and a coconut falls on your head and you
kills you.
die. And
Yeah.
that's, you had it all.
I mean, that's everybody all the time. You can walk outside, like you get in your.
No, you can't. I
you get in
cannot
your-
get hit by a coconut here. It's the
Yes,
coconut
you
specifically.
could. Somebody could drop it out of their window. Anything can fucking happen. And every
I
time
retract. I
we
retract.
get in our cars,
Yeah. Potential to die right there.
so much risk.
Yeah.
Like
You're
you
not
could be
wrong.
the best driver in the world,
Get hit
and
by a drunk driving asshole.
somebody
with no
else is
license.
out.
Yeah.
Like
Have you seen how many people have been driving the wrong way on the Queensway
it's
recently?
4 this year, dude. 4 in
I know.
1 year.
Mary and I were talking about it, and I was like, I'm 41 years old, and I
Never
can't
seen
remember
it.
it ever happening in my entire life. And it's happening in Toronto, too.
It
Like,
caused a 6-car pileup. This last one, 6 cars and like 4 people died. Or
okay, so I saw it happen. I saw a guy drive onto the off ramp.
No way.
At Carling, like the
that's
off
not
ramp.
where it happened though. It
No, I know,
happened
but
out-
no, this was like
is another
last year,
incident.
dude. It's crazy.
This
Did you
just
see the
happened the other
person?
day.
I was honking like crazy.
And he was 90 years old.
no, it was no.
Oh my God, that's so. You end up on the Queensway going the wrong way. You're fucked, man.
No, you got to pull right over.
Simon, it's also that exit drops like substantially. So like there's a point where like neither of you could see each other. It could be like you could both be going like 80 dead.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
Well, instead of building turtle fences, they should be fucking spending some money to put in some.
Yeah, enough turtle
Borders?
fences.
Don't go
borders?
in here. I didn't tell you about the turtle fences.
What language do you think those signs should be in?
I did all along the existing fence. They put these.
Oh yeah, you
fences,
told me about the turtle
just
fences.
so
Yeah.
you know where your tax dollars are going, man.
Turtle fences.
But do you think those signs should be in English?
They should be in both. They should be in
What
every language on
signs?
earth.
The signs telling people you don't go down this road.
They're not in any language because it's a fucking do not enter symbol. It's universal. It's not a French or an English thing.
Exactly.
It's a skull crossbow.
This show fell apart at the Brian Simpson FaceTime.
Oh my god.
And that was brutal.
This is just like,
Joe should have known better when he said, Brian, who?
Yeah.
I thought Joe was a good sport with Harlan.
He was. He played along.
And the
It was
gag gets
good.
funny and stuff, but it just, I thought Harlan selfish.
Brian-
I always got to be on to the dead guy, and it's like an old school mentality.
Hi, Brian. It's Joe Rogan here. I'm going to send you a link because you're on the show and I'm going to FaceTime you
Yeah.
back. I'm here with
Yeah.
Harlan Williams. Like, I bet Brian was like, yeah, okay, dog. Some
I am
white
such a
ass
bitch.
shit
Yes,
here.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm such a bitch.
Yeah.
And no, and he's with this super hot girl just about to hook up. Okay, whatever
Can
you
I
say,
ask
boss.
you a serious question?
Yeah.
Have we ever seen this before where somebody goes on Rogan and never breaks character and does his
No, I don't
whole
know.
shtick and Joe plays along with it? I don't think so.
Wheeler Walker. I believe Wheeler Walker Jr. was on it. His is a whole shtick.
Who's Wheelie Walker Jr.?
Maybe it wasn't. No, Wheeler Walker Jr. 's
He's
been
the
on.
cowboy guy?
Yeah,
No,
Dirty Songs.
he talked for real.
I don't remember that one.
That was a long
Wheeler
time
Walker
ago.
Jr.
It was
I don't
like
remember.
episode 790 or something.
Oh, so long before we did this.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Right,
most biddy.
Kamar?
Then the most biddy is what. This is the most biddy.
But this
doing
was Biddy in a different way. This way, like you didn't think he was coming up there trying to like sneak.
This was almost like
bits in.
Carrot Top. Like he
Yeah,
came
like
with
Carrot, yeah.
props,
He
like
might have-
ready to go.
He
Top
did
not.
come with props.
Carrot Top did not.
I know.
And
What
Carrot Top was on.
what
And
I'm-
we got to know him a bit.
What I'm saying though is this was Carrot Top level preparedness, like coming with like it's one thing being like, oh, you know, I'll try out my funeral bit on Joe, see if it gets any pull. It's another being like, I've prepared 7 slides and I have a prosthetic.
I mean, you got to give him credit. He runs the whole Dimitri bit at the beginning
yeah.
for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and then goes the whole episode before pulling the snake out of his ass. Come on, that is dedication to a joke. That's a fucking ta-da moment, you know? Come on, you're a comedian. You must see these things.
Sorry,
Nothing.
I forgot.
Nothing.
What are we talking about?
Harlan Williams'
Nothing.
bag
Let's
of jokes.
move on.
Harlan. No, I was gonna say Mike Baker. I was holding my head. Who's stayed in character the whole time? when we were
Gotcha.
trying to do
Mike Baker. Yes, you are absolutely correct.
You're not doing, Simon. You're not doing this for me. It doesn't matter if I hear you. It's for the people who love you at home.
You are absolutely correct. Mike Baker is the right answer
Yeah.
to that question.
He's been in character like
'cause
15 episodes.
I was like Patrick Bet David, but he was just a bit gifty, not Biddy.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't think of anyone else in Harlan Williams. I love the stuck porn. You guys,
so
You guys
hilarious.
aren't aware of this.
Oh no,
The
I'm aware
A
of.
woman gets stuck
Stuck
in a couch in a
Yeah, women are stuck in very
under a
innocuous.
bed,
Yeah,
and their helpful stepson generally is trying to help them out, and then on one pull, he'll usually accidentally pull their pants off.
Oh, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's more rapey. Sometimes it's literally like, oh, you're stuck in the dryer? Let me just stick my dick in you because your pussy's hanging out.
Let's see if we can work this out.
Yeah.
You-
And then they're in the dryer like, oh my God, no.
I'm getting surprisingly turned on.
yeah,
Of course you are,
Well,
yeah.
I think you prefer under the bed. There's one
Under the
there's
bed?
a one because
Yeah, there's like a hostel. There's a whole thing.
There's either like the one where like you clearly aren't stuck, or it's possible they actually are stuck and will need help to get out. There's one where she got her arm really in the couch.
Because there's
Anyways,
there's
it's
a
all right.
different porn
Yeah.
where it's not even porn, like nobody's getting fucked.
Okay.
It's just hot girls sinking in quicksand type scenarios.
That's
You
Bert
know
Kreischer
what I
porn.
mean? Yeah, Bert Kreischer porn, exactly.
Weird.
Yeah, there's all types of porn, but stuck porn in particular.
This is a thing. I did not know this was a thing. What other kind of things do they get stuck in?
Dryer.
Yeah, you
Or
said
washing
that
machine,
already.
a couch.
Yeah.
Under a bed, under a sink.
It's always
Under
at,
a sink's
it's
a big
always
one,
at
yeah.
home.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah.
yeah, you never get stuck.
You're
Well, they're not
stuck in
like getting
public.
stuck in a tree or something. They never get stuck in the backyard.
stuck in a tree.
In
And
a-
she
in
pulls
a
her head out and
hedge?
it's covered in honey.
No, Simon, yeah, it's always stuck at home because you have to be scantily clad too, right? Like it's got to be like,
Right,
my
why-
pussy is hanging out.
Why would you be outside?
Yeah, with your pussy just dangling out.
I mean,
Yeah, and they're always clearly not stuck. That's the biggest thing
Yeah.
too. Like there isn't even a
There's
moniker
some
of you.
couch and bed ones. I
No,
know.
no.
Are they like calling out to the stepson? I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
No,
And
no,
then
they
he
just come
sh-
upon
come
them
upon
usually.
them.
Yeah.
It's a come upon.
It's a come upon moment. Gotcha.
No, they
There
totally
is
come
no
upon
call.
them.
And when you
response.
search for this, what prompt words do you use?
Oh, it just comes up. I know you don't. have to
No,
search
no,
for
I'm saying if one were to search for it,
For one to
what
avoid-
prompt words
for
would
one
they
to avoid
use?
it.
Just search like stepdaughter stuck.
Yeah, step.
I'm sure it'll come
I
up.
don't ever
Step,
say
stuck.
stepdaughter. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
Nope,
like
you
a
don't
that's
have
a
to-
dicey road
Step
for you. Yeah.
stuck. You don't have to say any.
I don't like the
any
step.
gender.
Just the
or
word
anything.
stuck will get you there. Stuck.
Stuck?
Yeah.
There you go.
How did the fish get in the Great Lakes?
Hold on a second. Before we get to the fish, dude, there was
Back
this,
to the stuck
No,
porn.
yeah, back to the stuck porn. There was this porn where dude, I passed it around to everyone in the bar days. This chick is European as fuck. Let's just say that. So her English is not her first language, and she's talking dirty to the camera while doing stuff to herself.
What kind of stuff, Matt?
Eventually, butt stuff. But here's the important part. She has run through the English language and she has called her ass everything imaginable. Every synonym for her ass she has used. And you can tell that she's hell-bent on never repeating anything in the dirty talk. I can't let. Anyway, she's finally like,
Get to it.
I
man.
want you to lick my shit pussy.
She invented shit pussy.
Dude, that was my first ever spotting of the shit pussy.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Coined.
I honestly, to this day, it's the only time I've ever laughed out loud while masturbating.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Like that Shane bit, coughing while having sex.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kamar. Are we done with Harlan?
How did the fish get in the Great Lakes?
Oh yeah.
Well, they probably came in the icebergs.
no, they said Jamie pulled it up and they said that guys wanted to fish. They ended up
They've all
bringing a
been
bunch of
introduced.
salmon. Yeah.
No, but why couldn't they come in the same glaciers that carved out the lake? Like that's how it worked, right?
Frozen
Sure.
embryos.
I like that.
The frozen fish that came back to life. I'm pretty sure that happens.
Why is the bottom of the lakes so cold?
Why are you saying? Because it's getting closer to the center of the earth.
That's what I always say.
That's what he always says.
Well, we've been through this a million times.
But they are pretty spectacular. Like
the Great Lakes.
I've seen them all in my lifetime.
You've seen all the Great Lakes.
No, that's not true.
is
Yes, no,
not-
I have.
Go through them for us. First of all, name all 5 Great Lakes for me.
Superior. Went to Thunder Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Ontario.
Yeah. well,
Saw it on
that's
the train the other
easy,
day.
Yeah.
Erie. Haven't seen it.
No. Okay.
Huron.
Yeah. You haven't seen it either.
Michigan. Saw Michigan.
You got all the Great Lakes.
On Chicago.
And sometimes
Chicago.
Hudson Bay.
that's funny. So yeah, I think they would have come in the thing. I was going to tell you an interesting fact. It was that at the bottom of Lake Superior, I think it's Lake Superior, they found these like stone structures,
Okay.
like Stonehenge type things.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is so deep. Like literally. If you think about it.
It's literally
Yeah.
deep.
During the glaciers.
It was before the ice
before
age.
the glaciers, then
Yeah.
under, and now under all that water.
Yeah, it would have been on land and then Not.
Those lakes are great. Owls are dumb. Do we know that already?
I don't think that's true. Joe just made that up, I think. I've never heard that before. I'm going to look it up
Feels
right now.
like a Mandela effect, though. I mean, they've always been a character that's smart.
Owls are dumb. Did we know that already?
Everything I've ever learned about owls from cartoons and
it tells me they're very smart and learned.
advertisements, Yeah, they're very smart.
Silent assassins. And I thought it was good of Joe to really kill Harlan's vibe by talking about Phil Hartman's death. Because there was no way he could play that up.
The solemn death-link birds are actually remarkably intelligent, known to use tools. One of the most intelligent species in the New Caledonian species, which has been known to use tools such as sticks to reach insects. So there you go. Oh, are owls dumb? I don't think so.
And that's
Oh, wait. Oh, they're not as smart as crows, but they're still smart.
Crows are really smart. I mean, crows are
Crows
top of the
are
food chain
top
smart.
of
They're
them.
dumb. Like, it's crazy
They're
how smart
smarter
they are.
than most humans, you know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think we could use another POW movie. That was my last point.
POW movie.
Harlan joked about being a nam. There's a
My wife watched
That was a
that
great
one
joke, by
you
the way.
said to watch.
Bardo.
No, Control.
Area of concern. No,
You know what I'm talking
adjacent Nazis.
Yes. So
Point of interest.
She's watched every World War II. She likes all of that.
Zone
shit.
of interest.
And she said this was the hardest one to watch, and not because it had like the worst gore or whatever. Just watching these people do these callous things without regard or with regard.
I told you,
It was
man.
just-
It's a mind fuck.
See, and I have no interest in watching it.
It's worse than a horror movie.
Why?
I've heard these stories firsthand. I don't need to.
Fair enough. I'm just curious.
But you never got the other side. Which I don't know if you. I think,
You're right. I have.
I think it's called Shudder. Is coming out,
Shudder?
and the movie is from perspective. This hasn't been done before of the Jason character, or whatever.
the killer.
There'll be a killer in a campsite or whatever, and it's the killer.
You're first person
You're the
as
killer.
the killer.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting.
So you're going to be killing people, watch them suffer and scream, and have no regard for them.
Did I tell you guys about this Sasquatch movie?
Well,
That
you can still have regard. Go ahead,
did, you did.
Sasquatch.
I
movie.
did. I did, with Jesse Eisenberg.
That reminds me,
I still
actually.
haven't watched it yet, but
That reminds me. Why is it that I don't have a Yeti hanging up somewhere here? Like, shouldn't that have been a nice housewarming gift? You gave.
I told you to pick whatever you wanted from the bar
Oh,
and
did
just
you? No, you
take it.
didn't.
Yes,
oh, okay.
I
Well, I'm
did.
going to do that this week.
Please.
Okay. I'm going to a big one.
I told you that a long time ago.
Okay. Well, I have a
But you
very
don't
shit
listen
memory.
because you only want to hear what you want to hear. And if it's not about like hating Jews or gambling,
Oh wow! Save it, get a room. We'll be right back.
oh, I wish my mic could drop.
You didn't say that to me.
No, you're right. I didn't.
Okay, just clear that up. Yeah,
He's trying to clear up the anti-Semitism. He's trying to butt with gifts.
Yeah, no. Just grab whatever you want.
I find it frustrating that he was a bit bitty, but I respect him for committing to the bit and seeing it out.
I don't
He's the best in
give
the business.
people art usually because I don't want to push my art on anybody.
No, I would
you know what I
love-
mean.
I
You
would
have
love
to
to.
ask for it, and then you get it.
I love it
I've
when I
done.
try to make my poignant point.
Sorry.
You just
Sorry, please,
Disregard.
please. We all love when you finish with one of your poignant points.
clearly.
So are we rating Harlan?
I give it a 1.
Whoa,
I give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 2. Also, yeah, I thought it wasn't.
I mean, as bitty
is-
as it
it
was,
is
there
what
were
it was,
some of them made
yeah.
me laugh, which is important.
How about this? When I saw it was 2 hours and 20 minutes,
I knew,
and then
yeah.
when it started, I was like, "Oh no, this
This
Joe
ain't gonna
will not
work."
keep this going,
Yeah.
and nor does anyone."
In
want
all
to.
fairness to Kamar, I thought he would break at one point and give us some normalcy.
Yeah, like answer a real question. Like,
Yeah,
well, I have
but-
3 kids and they're great kids and I really love them. And being a dad
I've
is actually
never seen a bear. and-
yeah.
No, I think it's like an old school stick to the bit, never, whatever. I love him.
Sal Volcano. Give me a number.
Name and a number.
This is like a full circle Joe Rogan before COVID or the pandemic. 2159 Sal Volcano.
So he's had 2 of the Jokers on too now.
I didn't know he had
Who was the
another
other
one.
Joe Gatto. He had Joe on,
You
didn't
never
he?
had Joe
No,
Gatto on,
no, you're making shit up.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
100%.
Okay.
Heresy.
I've never been so certain about something in my life.
Okay. Holy fuck.
Have you guys ever seen we might have talked about this before, and if we have, just stop me. Have you ever seen
Stop.
the Sal Vulcano, Chrissy DeStefano bit where they're talking about Tupperware?
Yeah.
Dude, I've never laughed so hard in my life. It's like, you're throwing me peas, babe. It's bees.
He's amazing, Sal.
He thought it was Tupperware, not Tupperware. Yeah, we've definitely talked about this before. Sorry. I'll stop myself.
I went and watched his special, which he put out on YouTube, just like Duncan Trussell.
Is he a comedian?
He is now.
Was he always, though? Yes.
I think he was in the space. He was doing it, and
No, I think he was the only comedian out of the four of those guys.
I've seen Joe Gatto do comedy.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure they all try and dabble. But he put out a special, and it's really good, and it was produced by Ari, and it's really funny.
Joe was the funniest part of that. Well, Joe and Sal were the two funniest on. I know what's his name is funny too. No.
Murr.
So I never watched the show. You guys enjoy it.
You're missing out. It's so funny.
You've never watched the show?
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
This is just
you're such a hater
right?
asshole.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. You call me a hater?
Well, you are a hater.
No,
but
like,
it's-
Don't say you know what the show
I've
is.
seen an episode for sure. I never had an afternoon where I just.
You don't like to laugh.
No, I think I don't like gag shows.
It's not even a gag show.
In my mind, it's Impractical Jokers. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
This is a bit, isn't
blooper, It's blooper. Can't do that on television.
It's not a bit. It's not a bit.
It's not bloopers.
He said he doesn't
I
have
don't like
enough
the genre.
time
I don't like
to
the
watch,
genre.
by the
Just
way.
for laugh gags.
How many times have you watched Step It Up 2?
Okay, but Just for Laughs Gags is like questionably European.
Oh,
there's
it's
like
horrible.
There's like no talking in it. This is way better.
It's the interaction
Candid
between
camera.
the four of them.
It's dude, when they do the focus group stuff, that's when it's like the
so
fucking funniest.
Dude, it's a great show.
I'm not saying it. I
It
just
is a
don't.
great show.
I haven't watched it, so
The punishments when they make Murray get a finger up the ass in front of the whole room of dudes.
I don't think it's.
Fucking
I don't think.
incredible.
I don't think it's a bad show. Sal actually shared a couple stories from it. I was just trying to ask you guys: do you wish they had talked about the show more or anything like that?
No, I don't think you need to pull back any like onion. There's no like deep secrets
Do
to
you
it. It's a
remember when
hidden
they put him
camera
in?
show.
Do you remember when they put him in the swamp and he's
Yeah,
wearing a con?
yeah,
And
yeah.
were you just howling?
I don't remember that episode.
No, I mean the punishments were rare. Like only some of the punishments
We're funny, yeah.
Yeah, you really were there for like the how they got there.
Those ones were never funny to me when they like you're in there with a bear, like you know what I mean?
Aha! It's not funny.
I'm just saying.
Dude, in the
some-
movie, when Joe comes out of the tunnel in the full makeup, he's like, I've been down here since 1984.
You know what's so funny though with a bear is in Jackass, the new one, where they put them. It's pitch black, or they're in the room with the bears.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's funny. It's Aaron Danger.
Oh, now I do
McKecker
remember.
in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He's in the chair.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wild about Impractical Jokers is it seemed to have succeeded despite being on the Crime Network or whatever.
True TV, yeah.
Just the way I was wondering, what does it say about us that all our reserves are cigarettes and weed? What does it say about there's a show just for pawn shows and storage lockers?
Yeah.
Multiple shows about it. People either selling stuff or stealing stuff. I don't know. That sounded way better when I wrote it down.
The insidious thing about Pawn Stars is that because they're in Vegas, like you see so many people, they're like, I'm just hoping. Just hoping to get maybe like 50 grand for this. It's been in my family for years.
And,
Like,
the high end is Antique Roadshow.
yeah.
Where there's some dignity about it.
It's
It's been
true,
family
yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
We're not trying to sell it. We just were looking for value.
Yeah. It's always someone who's like, I found this in the attic when I was cleaning out my mom's house. And they're like, it's a priceless Fabergé egg. It's worth $50,000. I'm like, oh my God, life changing.
You know, Pawn Stars is pretend because of the amount of times he comes out and is like, yeah, this is actually worth way more than what you're asking. That would never
No,
happen.
never.
Never.
Dude, a pawn shop owner would still
the
lowball
whole
you.
point is
Yeah, make money.
And John Lee's there with his greasy fingers.
It is crazy though, Simon, that someone walked in with like 7 mint condition Charizard Pokemon cards, which I know nothing about, but apparently when he turned them down, like 5 years later, it would have been worth like $13 million
Yeah.
or something. And he was like 50 grand. I don't know anything about this. I love how the old man's like, silver, buy it.
He's dead now. Rest
is
in
he?
peace.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was such a weird time.
What's funny to me is that those all spawned from like TLC.
Yes, yes.
The Learning
just the
Channel.
reality
Yeah, but
boom,
it be-
which I guess is
And,
still going.
and
I
they've
just don't
come
watch
all
TV.
the way till MILF Manor too.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just ironic because as a kid, the Learning Channel had a lot of like learning programs.
It was only learning programs.
My 600-pound life.
It wasn't until we were adults that they started showing like midget families and stuff. You know what I mean?
I always remarked that when I was a
This
kid,
is a slippery slope. You started midget families, and
Arts.
next thing you know,
You
it's
end up
MILF
MILF
Manor.
Manor.
Yeah.
A&E was arts and entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be like real plays, Hot Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, or Tennessee Williams,
Yeah.
or ballet. And
And
now
then
it's
next-
intervention.
Well,
remember-
no,
no,
and then
A&E
they
was-
snuck in with the Rockford Files and like,
A&E, I remember, was always Horatio Hornblower. It was like some horrible, like,
It
guy on
actually
a
wasn't so bad,
Whatever.
Horatio
Whatever.
Hornblower.
The
But I
point.
could see that under the entertainment.
Yeah.
But when you get to intervention, it is
Yeah,
entertaining, but
that doesn't really fit the arts category.
again, the decline or the thriving of the American empire. You can see it in their media.
I mean, Intervention's a hard one to watch, man.
But again, I think it's them being
there.
like, watch this. Your life is good. They want you to think like, hey, you're doing good. They don't ever want you to be like, I'm not doing so great. So they show you intervention.
I don't
You're like,
watch
I'm
it.
not eating 4 light bulbs a day.
Yeah.
I just look at her at the beginning,
I don't look
see how
at my sorry.
downtrodden she is, and then I fast forward to the end to see how
If
she
it turns
turns out.
out,
I don't
yeah.
care about the in between. It is rough to watch. Speaking of
I
guilty
was gonna
conversations,
say
also-
I don't look at my sofa and want to eat the stuffing,
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about it, but
but I can withstand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I can
yeah,
hold
yeah,
back.
yeah.
you know?
I only watch like
have enough willpower.
drug addicts, fentanyl, Fenty.
what's the
Fetty Wap.
the cleaner? You ever see that one? The guy who's addicted to duster?
Well, that's like huffing gas or paint. Speaking of being all over the place, ADHD
Yeah.
is on the rise. I've self-diagnosed myself with it, but anything can do that if you read enough things. Like it's almost like a horoscope. I don't know if you don't know it's on social media, but there's lots of stuff saying, "Do you do this? Do you do this?" Like I do that, and then you all of a sudden think that, and I really wonder, should I be on meth? Asking for a friend.
I've thought about it. Not meth, of course, but like
Ritalin
taking some
or
sort of
whatever the thing
some
is.
Vyvanse or whatever.
I have a friend. I think I've told this story before.
Yeah.
He started taking whatever the equivalent of Ritalin as an adult.
Yeah.
And he said, "This is what I've been missing my whole life.
I feel like it would-
This
yeah.
makes me feel normal for the first time ever. I was always looking for something else, and this finally just lets me." So maybe that just is it. Like my dad would always talk about like the levels of whatever in your brain. And it just has to be the tiny
just
little
tweak
bit
it a little bit,
off,
yeah.
and it fucks everything up. And you take one pill, and it raises that back up. And
But I
you're
think
like,
here with our healthcare system, the thought of like, say that takes 4 different, try this
Yeah.
to find it, seems like, why even bother?
well, because that's unfortunately the science is the actual medication. That's still trial and error to find out what medication works the best for you. I that would be my understanding, my uneducated understanding of the whole thing.
Could be.
Because like the people prescribing the people making the drugs are scientists.
Yeah.
The people prescribing the drugs are
Doctors, physicians.
well, sometimes they're psychologists or psychiatrists or right.
Well, no, only one of those can prescribe. I think.
psychiatrists, but again, like it's almost like. Anyways, I don't want to besmirch.
Either way, I've definitely I get what you're saying, Kamar. I've gone down the ADHD list and been like, I check all these boxes. But like when you hear people, again, who the fuck knows? But when you hear people who have severe ADHD talk about it, like I'm like, I felt that for sure.
Well, and I'm sure you check a lot of boxes for like serial killer as well. You know what I mean? Like that's
Not
just
as many boxes as
you
ADHD.
can make those things work.
I don't know that, but when I talk to my stepfather, he'll say, when you were a kid, you were just like, you were crazy. And I don't remember it like that.
They tried to put me on Ritalin as a kid.
They never
I
tried.
took
They
it
tried-
for
they
like,
tried
I
with me as
hated
well,
the
I
way
think.
it made me feel, and I stopped doing it because I don't think it's meant for kids. I think it's meant for adults.
Yes. So everything's backwards here.
Everything is backwards. They're giving it to you at the wrong time.
Now they're saying they should introduce peanuts right away to kids.
yes.
But yeah, there was that guy on a couple years ago, remember, who was like, if you feed pregnant women this like peanut substitute, there's like a 56% less chance that the kids will have some sort of peanut allergy.
Well, yeah, and if you can rid your kids of having a peanut allergy, like that's just another unnecessary fear out in the world, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really think the frustration is I don't need therapy. I actually need some sort of medication, or maybe I don't.
Well, they
Or
probably
both.
go hand in hand
I was going to say, or both. Yeah.
because the medication will raise those levels and the therapy will allow you to release some of your,
Unresolved issues.
your trauma.
I just would like to be able to concentrate.
No, but I feel that. That like, yeah, getting like, there's things that I really want to get done, and unless I it's almost impossible for me. And it's crazy because I will have days where like I'm like, holy fuck, I was productive today. Like I got everything for the week done today, and then the next day I'm like, I didn't do jack fucking shit today. I sat around and waited for.
You got to
work,
find
and
out what is the common denominator. Every
I've
time
tried.
that
I've
happens.
tried. I just
Have you guys ever been in a big maze? I don't think I'd want to go in one now.
Like a corn maze?
corn maze.
Yeah, I've been in a
bush
corn
maze would be
maze, a
more
hedge
impressive.
maze. I've been in quite a few mazes.
I'm
I
amazed.
consider myself a maze connoisseur. To be fair, what's your favorite maze, Simon? A maze?
A
See what I did there?
maze, yeah. Well, no, I think the hedge maze was the best maze. The corn maze was pretty good. I've
Not
been in
scary?
I've been in a snow maze too.
Snow maze.
an ice
I have,
maze.
but that's the only maze I've been in. a
Hey,
big snow
because
maze.
you've been to
Don't point at me.
back when the winter was here.
Winterlude.
The winterlude was here. I would always
You're probably too young.
want to sleep underneath my covers, but you run out of air.
Yeah.
That's such a weird thing, eh?
Well, you're just because you're breathing in carbon monoxide.
Like you're killing yourself, sort
Yeah.
of.
My dog, the retarded savant I was telling you about last week, he has to be under the covers, but he's too
Clogged up.
retarded
Yeah.
to get out. So he'll like actually start hyperventilating. I have to pull it off or he'll die, I think. I mean, he's
That's funny. Chico
when he's
won't
not
go.
fetching sticks.
Or like Sal, because Sal sleeps under the covers with his CPAP machine. Like a
Sal
little-
is the name of my dog. Who are you talking about?
Sal Volcano,
Volcano.
the guy
Oh,
we're
that's
talking about here.
interesting.
So maybe you got to get a little CPAP
A little
machine for your
CPAP.
dog.
Well, he
Yeah.
probably needs one.
But I'm
actually.
thinking of getting a snorkel, so I can fulfill my dreams to sleep under my covers.
Oh my god! I see what I just did there. I stepped all over his
He's
terrible.
bit. Yeah,
punchline.
yeah, you really
You
did,
should
yeah.
be thanking me, dude, because
No,
that was brutal.
I had to get through it, man.
brutal.
Could you eat corn on the cob, no butter?
Yes.
There's some special peaches in the cream corn. That's really
Yeah,
good.
it's sweet. I very rarely put butter on my corn. Actually,
Shut the fuck up. What do you put on it?
just
We'll be
nothing
right back.
Usually,
What do you mean nothing?
peaches and cream corn
Oh,
is
shut the
sweet
fuck
on
up.
its own.
Shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
thanks, Dad.
Look, I'll put some salt and some butter on it too. But like, if I don't remember,
Dude,
I don't.
drenched.
Slather that shit in
Drenched.
butter.
No.
Tons of
Drenched.
salt, tons of
Drenched.
pepper, drenched in butter.
Drenched.
Like take the stick of butter and take your corn and
Take
put
it
it.
easy.
butter is
Take
branded.
it easy.
Yeah.
This whole corn thing is getting you really fucking hot under the collar.
Kumar, as a kid, I would then take the already eaten husk and re-butter it. And
Someone
then just,
else's or
No,
yours?
my own. Yeah.
You know what I do now?
Underneath the
somebody-
table at the fucking fair park.
We bought one of those from the dollar store, one of those
Hate it.
corn
Yeah, hate it.
decorners.
Yeah.
Actually, I call it a decornicator.
Get out.
It's changed my whole vision of corn.
You're the
It's
guy
Now
so
you just
much
cut
better.
the corn off the cob.
It comes off in these big long strips.
I get it. I know.
So you're not having to deal with like tiny kernels, but you're also not having to deal with like that.
Oh, I love it's half
Junk
the
in
battle
your
after.
teeth,
I love
you know?
that.
That is the.
It's almost like a game. It's like a game after food.
I'll say it
you
one
don't eat
more
it off
time.
the cob. Although eating off the cob looks gayer than shaving off the cob.
How are you eating it like this?
Yeah, that's how Kamara's eating
All
it
it
for
is.
sure.
You never let it work the side.
Kamar has
Kamar
one
brushes his
corn
teeth with
cob
the
up
dick.
his ass and one fucking down
a-
his throat.
So the biggest scam,
Decornicator. I just want to point that out again.
I think
okay,
people listening
guys?
are still laughing.
Nobody's listening, so
big-
don't worry
The
about it.
biggest scam in baseball is the little corn things you'd put in the end.
Okay, that's the
The
biggest game in
corn
baseball.
holders. I
Corn
don't know why
holders.
baseball.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter in eating corn.
Well, that keeps your fingers from getting it. Like according to Matt, he has so much butter on that thing. He needs those to hold.
No, you
Yeah.
just keep the husk on, invert it, and hold the husk.
Okay, that's smart.
Do you microwave your corn?
I will if I have to.
Yeah, you never heard of that?
Microwave your corn. Oh, in the husk.
Yeah, you leave the husk on. You throw it in the microwave for like 2.5 minutes.
No husk, you can wrap it in saran and still do it.
I am a purist. I boil my corn.
That's fine. Well, I think they say that's the safest way because it can have some sort of worm or parasite corn
Is that
occasionally.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with a little Dimitri inside you.
Well, I like celery.
I don't
No,
think
no
Joe
one likes celery.
I think Joe sort of started one way, but Central Park is like so cool, or Central Parks in general as a
As a theme,
idea.
Toronto has High Park.
and
London
then
has
when
High
you have
Park.
when you have a big one.
Did I ever tell you how Central Park started?
Yeah, homeless
Jews?
people. We know.
It was like a
Yeah,
low
homeless
income
encampment.
encampment, and they didn't want the people
Yeah.
living there because they were making their own laws.
I mean, I only know that
So the
because you told
government
me you
turned
could have
it-
made that
They
up.
couldn't just kick them out; it would be a bad optics. So they turned it into green space that could never be lived in except by homeless people today. It's kind of a weird cyclical. No, but are there any homeless people living in Central Park? I don't think so. I think they monitor that shit. huh?
Central Park is pretty. I mean, from when I lived there, it was pretty safe.
But you hear about a lot of like.
No, you
rapes.
used
Not
to
lately,
hear about
not
that.
lately,
That was
yeah,
like
yeah.
an 80s
That was
thing,
80s,
80s, early
so. Yeah,
That
90s.
was before Giuliani,
Giuliani,
cracked
yeah.
down on shit.
Yeah, and we are vulnerable in nature.
Well, of
As
course
human
we are.
beings.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast's latest episode. Two guys, you don't know each other. You're dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and every day you stay there, you get $10,000. You get a flare gun and a flare, obviously. And when you shoot off the flare, it's over. And whatever money, if you go 10 days, it's $100,000, so on. So they dropped off. They're like, we're going to make, $3.6 million. I'm going to stay here for a whole year.
I don't think the math is
Made
right
it.
on that.
Well, that's what they said. At $10,000 a day, we're going to stay here for a year.
I think that's 36 million, but I could be wrong.
Irrelevant. They lasted 67 days, I believe.
What's the number, Simon?
I think it's 3.6 million, Matt.
Plot spoiler.
But
10,000?
I don't know. I don't read those things great. So.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
3.36. How many millions? How many zeros in a million?
6.
6. Yeah. So 3.6 million.
Let me see it.
Oh no, that's not even.
It's 36 million. Look, can
Yeah,
I see the
3.6
fucking number, please? 3.6. Yeah. You're right.
So that's what they said. We're in this. They don't know each other either.
So wait,
Okay.
they split the money? So it's $10,000 each?
$5,000 each. if you
That's
break
okay.
it down.
That's
so
where
they're
I'm
splitting
okay.
3.6 million, and they
That's-
make it how many days? I'm gonna
70.
guess
67.74.
they make it 74 days. Well, that's way more than I would have thought. They don't have food or anything. They have to hunt their own food.
They
have
come
no
in
weapons.
with 5 days of food.
Okay.
5 days of food, and they've got some camping gear. No,
Oh, they
sleeping
do
bags.
have camping gear. They
But-
have a tent.
No, they have to build shelter. They have to do everything.
Do they have a knife or an axe or?
Dude, the best would be if like the ultimate, like if Les Stroud
Went
somehow
on there, yeah,
somehow
nice.
made his way in and like Mr. Beast is like, this guy's on day fucking 9,000.
Yeah.
Well,
He's still out
He
there.
hasn't been home in 17 years.
His family's already taken care of.
It steals his whole fortune.
What's interesting is Mr. Beast would come like every week or whatever and be like, if you guys want this steak for 20 grand, like, or tools, or here's a sleeping bag, or
Yeah,
whatever
like
along the way.
Survivor, offer them-
I think
yeah,
they
yeah.
spent like $60,000 or something, but they found food, they figured out stuff, they were surviving,
Well, yeah, 74 days. I wouldn't last that long.
and that wasn't what made the guys stop doing it.
Go on.
Is the one guy who's like, I can't do this anymore. Like I have a wife and kid. Like
So he didn't fully think out the 365-day thing.
Exactly.
And if one guy leaves, it's over.
One guy wants. So at one point, the guy steals the flare. Because if they're going to go,
Now we're talking.
You have the
Now
flare.
we're talking.
I have
That's
the gun.
hilarious.
So, like, not one of us have it.
Yeah.
And then the guy starts going crazy. And you see him, he starts, like, being despondent. And I want to talk to this guy. Like,
There's only 2 of them. That's brutal.
That's hilarious.
sort of going into like a Jack Nicklaus
Yeah.
all day, makes a dull boy. And it really is it's a crazy, that's the best Mr. Beast I've seen.
Kamar, I told you there was a guy one year on Survivor who, like, day one, as soon as they got there, was like, I just want to let everyone know I quit smoking like 2 days ago. And they're like, okay. And dude, like 5 days in, this guy's fucking loco. He whittled a cell phone out of wood, and he's in the woods just having conversations on the phone. Like,
That's Americana. He's doing it for the bit. It's the Nick fit. Oh, but yeah, Siegfried and Roy, they talked about cats. We're very vulnerable to cats.
And then that whole Siegfried and Roy, the tiger was trying to save him and not kill him.
Well, that's what you tell yourself, like the abused wife.
That's what
is
Tiger
not my-
Advocate says, so that they can continue to have tigers.
What did kill Roy, though?
AIDS.
COVID.
Simon,
What?
AIDS.
I thought he was like, I don't know, man. Sorry.
That's crazy. So Tiger didn't get him, but COVID did.
Yeah, he stepped on that one too.
So it was real.
Funny.
COVID was the punchline
Yeah.
in your
Well,
joke.
it's the irony of he got strangled, he had a stroke, got his throat
He had a
ripped open
stroke
by
in front of a tiger.
lion.
The tiger ripped his throat open. He survived all that. Yeah.
He
Then
succumbed to
COVID
COVID.
comes
I don't
along.
know.
Yeah. Ta-da.
A lot of these things really hit me at the time, and they just don't transfer to today.
I don't think he ever had COVID. I think he got killed by the lion, and they just put COVID on the.
Oh, it was a convenience thing.
To get the numbers
To get
up.
the numbers up, yeah.
It was Carol fucking Baskins.
Yeah, so why I said this is classic Joe Rogan, they just talked about animals. There was no like talk about cancel culture, politics, gender, anything that. So, I mean, I really enjoyed it for that. It was a freshness, and Sal's really funny, interesting guy.
Carol
I love how
Baskins.
he sounds like a foreign.
Killed her.
It was a
husband,
freshness.
Whacked him.
Yeah,
Those on these
was a
fucking
freshness.
monologues, man.
like breath of fresh
This
air.
episode was a freshness.
I often wonder, do you think he has that written down? Like
yeah, I know he does.
Kamar monologue, 3 minutes.
No, he says like it just says freshness somewhere on his sheet there.
I don't know how I feel about Paul Rosalie. Because I don't know if you saw his most recent one with
He's the Amazon guy.
they're in the jungle. And Lex is in his suit and sweating profusely. And there's like giant man-eating bugs coming in. And it's so intense.
What do you mean? Hold on a second. They went to the jungle.
They went to the Amazon.
and Lex wore his suit.
Paul made him.
Hold on, wait, Lex. I thought you meant like a Amazonian, some sort of like bug repellent suit. You mean he wore his outfit?
Like black suit. Oh, that's
Lex
so
is
dumb.
in the Amazon.
That's
It
insane.
starts in the light. And you can just see there's like, you know, palm tree on his shoulder. Like it's so weird what they're doing. And then it gets dark and it's really bitty. But I don't know what, because Paul Rosalie, the first time I saw him was on like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, more on the reality TV, like, can I get eaten by a snake? And then you
Can
listen
I
to him,
get eaten by a
he's just this passionate guy. He's fallen in love with the Amazon for obvious reasons. I still think I could light a fire in there.
Oh, you 100% couldn't.
If I had stuff.
Couldn't.
Just if I had nothing, yeah.
100% couldn't.
Because they were talking about that how
Sergeant
fucked you
Dan.
are if you don't have shoes within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like if you woke up in the jungle and took 2 steps, you're stepping on a thorn, you're stepping on 2 roots, breaking it, something's biting you, like you're
Let me
done.
tell you something about Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
The ones who do the best
Yeah.
fabricate themselves some shoes
Of
at the
course.
beginning.
Yeah.
Because if you can't walk, you can't win.
Yeah. I believe that's the subtitle
That's
of the
the-
show.
that's the
Naked
saying.
and Afraid. If you can't walk, you can't win. Yeah.
That is what it is.
No.
No, it's Naked and Afraid. Your dick
This
is
guy
out.
is Joe Rogan. I'm pretty sure you are Joe
No, I
Rogan.
was
That's what it
remarking,
is. It's that
wow.
you're not listening, so then you just like you're in your own
Well,
world.
and we are very bitty. So.
I'm just cooking over here, man.
Pardon
I
me.
knew a guy who's, I guess he was Jesus, not Jesus. Do you know anyone who's named like Hitler or Adolf?
I knew a guy named Jesus. Do you know anyone named Hitler?
Those are the band names. They're talking about those band names.
What are the weirdest names that you know of an actual living human
Jehovah?
being that you've met? You know, you met a Jehovah.
No, but that's band. But
Right.
that sounds like a, that's so, oh no, I'm thinking Hova. It's like a Jay-Z thing.
Ugh. Speaking of
I
bit
can't remember.
bitty.
I don't remember any weird
Why
names.
do you turn to the camera to do that?
'Cause he's
It's
trying
I'm
to-
doing the bit.
gross.
I'm doing the
He's
bit.
doing the bit.
We've been
The
doing
selling the
oh my
Zen.
God.
It's a bit he's doing. He's
Do you want
bitty.
some celery?
There was some confusion with the TED Talk AI earpiece. Because if it was what we thought it was initially, that's like,
I had no idea what they were talking about when they were talking about
Okay,
that.
the idea is this, Simon. I have an earpiece in. Kamar's on the other end of a room. The room is packed full of people. Okay, I say to the AI, I can't really hear Kamar. Can you lower everyone else in the room? It then, using some sort of noise gate, using AI, it isolates all the noise that is not Kamar and brings it down to a 0. So I now, at the other end of the room, in real time, can hear exactly what Kamar is saying
Through an earpiece.
through an earpiece. Even then, if Kamar is speaking a different language in real time. Now, the weird thing about that, though, Kamar, was it translated it not just in his voice, but in his voice with an accent. I don't know if you caught that.
that
Isn't it just a
sort of broken English.
walkie-talkie though?
No.
Like you're talking
no,
and he's hearing you.
This,
no,
this is where the confusion is. Because I think he was watching a video and manipulating it with AI that way.
There's no difference. If it's doing it that fast in real time, a video versus, I don't think a video versus being in a room is any different. Remember what I told you about the sphere?
It would, because maybe it could understand data just through the, you know how they can tell if you copyright something?
Yeah.
Just by whatever signature there is. So then maybe there's ones and zeros that it can actually alter to have your translation to
Here's the problem. If I just put this thing in my ears raw, okay, first time user, I take it out of the box, I put it in my ears. How does it know who Kamar is?
why
When I
why
s-
does it need to know who Kamar is?
Because I've just said to it, I need to hear just Kamar.
Ah, yes, we're going right
Yeah,
back to
you
the
both
actual-
would have had to have signed up for
This
this.
is what I'm saying. Well,
program.
no, well, it would have had to have had some sample of your voice, and I would have had to
to
have
be able
said-
to do that.
Yes.
translation part.
Because again, if I go stand beside you at first and I say, hey, AI, this is my friend Kamar, and you say, hey, AI, my name's Kamar, it now has a small enough sample that it could probably replicate your voice across.
Or it just goes Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah.
Sure, maybe, yeah. I mean,
Or
listen,
it just goes to
I cannot
It just-
complete that and then kills
it
you.
goes to your iPhone and just says everything it knows about you.
it immediately listens to all our episodes, leaves a 1-star review, and comes back and it's like, I'm not translating shit for you.
That'd be good press.
If it can't fulfill the request, it just has to murder you because that's the quickest way to make sure that it happens.
I should just learn French, but I'm sure like Quebec talk shows are just talking shit about English people. Like,
And that's the only reason you want to learn French.
No, just to see if they are. I think they get together and talk about how stupid we are.
It's just like white women at a nail salon.
It's like Oprah.
They're like, welcome back to Gatineau today. Earlier, a couple of filthy Englishmen broke into a store in Gatineau. Fuck them.
We're going to talk about the top 5 ways that the Anglophones have fucked us
Yeah.
this week. Jose, roll the reel.
They talked about the redundancy of trying to describe something as luxurious as saying flat screen TV.
Yeah, you can probably let that go now.
How crazy was a thief? We've
Like,
done
you,
this before.
you got a flat screen, now I got a big back.
Flat back.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
steal
those TVs were
you had to-
obscene.
you had to- it was ridiculous. I had many.
It's
Yeah.
true. On my own, at this moment, I could probably carry like an 80-inch TV. You couldn't even carry like a 36-inch
No way.
on your own with the fat back.
Dude, it was insane. And it was so heavy on one side. Like the
Oh,
screen
yeah.
side was
It
way
was
heavier.
meant to fall
Yeah.
on your feet.
Yeah, it was insane.
I feel like they were made to be stolen.
These new
Nobody
flat
could
screens.
steal. Oh, the flat screens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big
I could climb a tree with that fucking TV.
You can fit like 8 of them in the trunk of your car,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Just flat back on top of each other.
And then there's a moment when they bring up rabies. And you know, Jamie just put up the rabies ones because we've talked about rabies all the time. And I love watching Joe learn about something again
In real
that,
time.
that we've gone through.
Yeah.
You know what is cool about rabies though? And you just forget that this is a truth is that it is a disease
Out there.
that is making its host crazy, so it will spread that disease.
But it's just out there. It's like a demon.
Like when you have a cold,
Yeah.
that cold wants you to pass that cold along to
course.
somebody else, but it's not making you insane to do it. It's just making you sick.
Yeah.
This rabies really is one step away, one brief step away from zombies.
Do we know where rabies came from? Is it like a lab thing? Like,
I don't think it's a lab thing, but I'm gonna find out, Matt.
I mean, like, again, if you were to ask where Lyme disease came from, you wouldn't get a straight answer. So,
Well, it came from a lab in.
well, no, that's all hearsay. I know it originated in Lyme, Connecticut, or whatever.
Lyme, Connecticut.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't, because the theory, of course, is that the CIA released Lyme disease. But we don't know that to be true. And Mike Baker will never tell us.
That's true. Current theories agree that the Lissa virus probably originated in old world bats,
Weird.
which are confirmed reservoir hosts for 14 of the 16 known viral species. I don't like that. Where does the rabies? The rabies virus is usually transmitted through a bite. Animals less likely transmitted. Yeah, but where did it come from?
Space. The final frontier.
Fucking idiot. It's fine. Move on.
Yeah, or old world bats. That's
Weird.
where it says it originated.
Nothing worse than my buddy. I don't think he does stand up anymore. But did a bit about what heaven's supposed to be like. Just euphoric, always, and that's the same idea. Like these people who constantly ejaculate because you think that's a great thing, but then you like to turn it off. It's a sort of a thought experiment. No.
I think constantly anything
Yeah.
is probably a bad thing.
No, but that's the idea of euphoria is not like, I think it's beyond the normalcy of your life. Like you don't feel anymore. There is no searching for a feeling.
You're not happy. You're not
Like
sad.
it's not like ejaculating where you're like you get that 5 seconds of ultimate pleasure. It's like you're just that ultimate pleasure is all around you all the time. There is no
feeling because you're past feeling.
you've reached like a, I don't know. That's how I interpret it, at least.
That's the nothingness you talk about.
That I talk about.
No, I'm saying that they talk
Sure.
about.
Well, I
It's
guess.
it's
No,
nothingness.
No, I don't think it would be nothing. No, I'm not. No, I'm saying that like the idea of euphoria is that you're past. I don't know. Who cares? Who gives?
You're
a fuck?
past caring about anything.
Oh man, you're
Yeah, but it's not nothingness. Because what you're saying is like, again, it's almost back to like you've come so many times. You don't. It's nothing. You don't even feel it anymore, right? That's sort of.
What's the gag on The Simpsons? The guy has the hiccups. He's on the talk
Kill
show.
me.
Yeah, somebody kill me. Kill me, please.
It's just sort of the same idea. I mean, who wants hiccups?
Imagine having the hiccups for like years.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
You would be happy that there was assisted suicide in
Yeah.
Canada.
I love pickup trucks. Do you guys like pickup trucks?
It's such weird fucking segues.
No, I'm just. I want. If I
That
die
was
tomorrow,
that was
the world
the
knows.
gayest thing I've ever heard. by
So if you
It's
die
so-
tomorrow, you want the world to know that you like pickup trucks. That's important to you.
You like trucks? I'm a truck guy.
Oh, well, we'll put that on your tombstone.
No one looks at me or thinks of me as a car
Kamar
guy or
Hargan.
whatever.
No,
This guy's a
nobody
truck
looks
guy.
at you or thinks of you as a truck guy either.
But
You're a scooter guy, by the way. I'm coming
Definitely
out.
a scooter guy.
I want the world to know if I could be who I wanted to be, I'd be a
You'd
truck
be a
guy.
truck. I'd drive like an 80s truck. You know
Well,
what
so
I mean?
you also are a truck guy.
Or a 70s truck.
I was gonna say a 60s, one of those
70s, yeah.
Ford
Yeah,
flatback.
Yeah.
You feel like you're a convertible guy.
Yeah, you're definitely not a truck guy. You're more like a
You look like a Miata guy across the board, so don't even. Okay,
You look more
Are you a
like
truck guy?
I would drive a truck. Yeah,
I can see him driving like a really big F-150, you know?
well, I have a really small cock, so I would raise that. I would
Yeah, yeah,
raise
with
it like
huge
50.
wheels.
Yeah.
You'd have
yeah.
the double
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah.
Dually,
I'd run over
dually.
you in your Miata. Yeah,
Quad.
me and my small
Hemi.
dick. Yeah,
Joe said it, but then walked it back right away. He was like, you can't buy a fighter jet.
Oh, you can.
Of course, you can do anything.
he saw that. He watched that documentary
Well,
the
no,
same
they-
as us.
they talked about it.
I know. I'm just talking about it, but it was just. I wonder though, on that vein, is there anything you can't have? And I don't think there is.
A unicorn.
Youth. A unicorn.
Well, you're saying
No,
you can't
no.
have things that don't exist? Yeah.
We're gonna get Paco to get a horn. We're gonna get a horse.
I'm sure that
Drill into his head.
I'm sure there's some
You're getting your
Shaw
fucking unicorn.
in Saudi Arabia who has a whole fucking field of unicorns.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's been lied to, like Kamar's saying. Yeah. They're like, trust us, sir. It's a unicorn. Yeah, it's the bloody horse in the field. The fucking steak out of its head.
Just eating Advil.
Yeah.
It's just a horse with a dildo attached to
Yeah,
its
exactly. Yeah.
forehead.
And Chota Boy.
Do you think we take for granted that it went from UFOs our whole life to UAPs?
We take that for granted.
That's more of a thing than we say it is.
Well, I think they were planning on making it a more serious discussion, so they had to get rid
You mean
of
the
old
rebranding?
UFO.
Or is it more of a red herring? Yes.
I don't think
Exactly. The rebranding, like, whoa,
This is something new and amazing, whereas it's not your old dad's UFO.
because Joe was saying these
He's such an asshole. Straight face looks at me
these are your-
like that's a normal goddamn
Yeah,
thing to
I'm
say.
listening.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bob
I'm
naps.
listening.
Fuck this guy.
Could someone from the past? No, I'm losing it, boys.
Can't even read his own notes. This guy's a fucking.
No, it was the guys going down to see the Titanic, and apparently someone else wants to do it, and I
new
wonder, I still
billionaire.
wonder what that obsession is. And I guess that's the thing, that you don't rest on your laurels and just spend your money wisely. But they found out that the thing had blown up because of the detectors that weren't there for submarines, but UAPs.
Yes.
Because this is the newest thing in my life, and I'd say in the last 2 years. Like we had Mexican OG or OT Mexican.
No, Mexican OT. You got it.
Been a couple people in passing mentioned that there's a lot more going underwater than
That's who you're taking your info from.
Yeah,
on the
that
fucking-
Mexican OT.
taking from all over the place.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's true.
And we tie it all together.
But when that Mexican OT said it, it really hammered it home. I agree.
You do.
No.
Or you're-
No, you're a fucking idiot.
like when Terrence Howard said he was in the womb.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence
Terrence
Howard.
Howard was in the arm.
It'd be interesting if they could reclone and you see like what a Sam Kinison or their example is Lenny Bruce. Just what they even thought of the world today.
Lenny Bruce is like, lot of Negroes out here.
I was thinking about there's some guy went to jail like the year you were born and has probably been in jail your whole life.
Yeah. Well, not really. I'm 40. So, well, I guess, yeah. Some people are on like, yeah, multiple life sentences.
I don't know why I thought about that.
I don't know why you said it.
The good news is Josh Dubin is trying to get them out so that they can saw someone's head off.
So they can come on Rogan and declare their innocence all the while. Well, that's the wrong symbol to be making.
Have you guys both seen Impractical Jokers, the movie?
Oh my God.
Yes.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon, two racks of brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made the box office. This week we're doing the Impractical Jokers movie that Sal Volcano starred in and produced himself with the help of his friends. So you guys are really looking forward to this? Did you go to theater to watch it?
Okay, hold on. This wasn't even in the theaters,
Yes,
was
it
it?
was. Yeah.
I thought it went direct to Netflix.
You
or
hold
one
on.
of those.
You hold on.
I don't like this. This is way too recent.
Okay, you have a year ready, Simon?
I mean, I'm debating between 2 years, actually, Matt. I'm going to go with the second.
Which is?
2021.
Yeah. Yeah, I said 2018.
You had it if you said 2020.
Ah, you son
You
of
just
a
had to drop the
bitch.
one.
I knew it was COVID because I remember being at home.
That's
when
funny
it
because I thought it was
coming out.
just pre-COVID.
I was just thinking I knew you'd put up some sort of protest, but you're just taking a stab in the dark, a movie made in the 80s or the 90s, whatever.
Yeah, he's right.
All right.
I said it cost $8 million to make, and it made 14.
Whoa. Okay. I said it cost $28 million to make.
Whoa! How much cocaine was on the set of this movie? What?
What locations was it?
and it made 143.
Oh my God!
Million.
What?
swear to God, somebody is stealing from me.
Oh, that might be the worst guess ever.
Okay,
on a
so
movie
well,
game.
hold on. Let's find out.
I wish I'd seen it so this would have more context. Budget $3 million.
Oh, I'm right there. I'm right there. What did you say?
28.
Oh my god. Box
And
office.
10.7.
Oh, I won.
10.7. I said 143.
I know. What's crazy, Simon, is you started off by saying, I remember it came out during
didn't even
COVID,
come
and then
into
you
the
said,
movie.
didn't this go right to Netflix? Like, you had all the fucking makings of a low number, but then for some reason,
Some people call it the next Titanic.
Oh no, I misread. It's 2
Yeah.
million and 14 million.
Oh, there
I
you-
see.
so
that makes more
the
sense.
Jew in
only on
Simon was like,
fire.
142 million.
That's the movie game.
It's a good return on investment.
It made 7 million?
Well, it only cost like 13
Yeah, I get
bucks.
it. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no. And yeah, Sal Volcano's internet net worth.
His internet net worth?
He's worth
$5 million.
No, it's got to be more than that because of Impractical Jokers. He must be worth like 13 million.
10.
7.
Okay, 5 was closer.
Yeah, so this was the quintessential Joe Rogan. Back to business. Loved it. I give it a 4.
I give it a 2.
A 4. Really? This is a 4.
Simon throws down his pen in protest.
I've only ever seen Sal. I've never watched any of the Chrissy Hines things or whatever.
Chrissy Hines.
Chrissy Haynes or Funny Chrissy DeStefano, whatever.
This is crazy.
Chrissy Hines. Chrissy Haynes.
I've heard him
Chrissy
on,
Funny
okay,
DeStefano.
No, you know what?
Guesting on episodes.
You don't need to explain yourself. It's your
Obviously, because everyone likes him. He's a wicked guy, but he's even better. And
Rating?
I saw a special.
I like Sal. I just didn't like this episode.
I like him too, but like a 4.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just trying to fix
That's
my score. I give it a
crazy.
3.
I give it a 2.
2, yeah. All right, that's it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. There's a Patreon if you want to support the show. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. For that $5, you get the post show. It's the show after the show where we shoot the shit. You'll also get old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show where we went back and listened to old episodes and the same bullshit we do now. And some other stuff. Moon debate. We might be trash. This, that, and the next. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If we had a sponsor, I don't remember. Thank you to them. And that's it. We hope you have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Thank you to Zin and keep your eyes open.